The strongest system. Chapter 1. Let me upgrade. Ouch, my God. Senior brother. It hurts so much. If you try harder, I can't hold on any longer. In the training ground of the Holy Demon Sect, a young man who looked to be only 16 or 17 years old was standing there, howling in pain, but his expression revealed a hint of relief. Lin Fan has a secret. That is, he is not a native here, but comes from Earth. It is not his soul that traveled through time, but his body that traveled through time. When Lin Fan first came to this mysterious world, he felt so happy. Have you read the novel? The protagonists in the books are all awesome. Strength, status, money, and beautiful women are all within their reach. His body shook and his arrogance was released. No matter whether you were the supreme leader of the sect or a stunning beauty, everyone would submit to him obediently. But just before Lin Fan's daydream came to an end, he discovered that the rhythm was a little wrong. He was actually a sandbag for disciples of a certain demon sect to practice martial arts. When he heard the news, Lin Fan was stunned on the spot. How come it turned into a sandbag just after I put it on? This is unscientific. Even if this guy is a loser or something, I accept it, but no matter what, he needs to have a more reliable hidden identity. But now he was just a punching bag for others to practice martial arts on. This instantly made Lin Fan not want to say anything more. He was even heartbroken and cried secretly for several days. During the first year after arriving at the Holy Demon Sect, the still naive Lin Fan suffered inhumane hardships and was almost beaten into a third-rate waste. If the Holy Demon Sect hadn't had some conscience and given those sandbags a book on body refining, they would have died long ago. When Lin Fan got this body refining secret book, he was extremely happy. Look at the name, it's so cool and domineering. If he can master it, won't he be invincible? But after Lin Fan tried to practice it himself, he found out that it was a complete and utter scam. Titanium-grade demonic body has a total of 3 levels. It is a body-refining technique written casually by the founder of the Holy Demon Sect. It is a secret book exclusively for Sandbag. Even if he had reached the 3rd level, according to the secret manual, and achieved a titanium-grade demon body, he would still be able to be knocked down with one blow by those disciples with real weapons. Fortunately, God will not let down those who work hard. Lin Fan's tragic fate was so unbearable that even God could not bear it. On a dark and windy night, Lin Fan discussed life with Zhou Gong's daughter in his dream, and suddenly found that he had a digitized system. Lin Fan studied for a long time, but didn't see any artificial intelligence mentioned in the novel. He had to figure it out on his own. As for this digital system, Lin Fan didn't quite understand it at first, but later he found that there was an additional data about his cultivation of titanium-grade demon body under his character data panel. Normally, after finishing his sandbag work every day, Lin Fan would immediately go back to eat and practice. After all, if he doesn't successfully cultivate the titanium-grade demonic body, who knows when he will be killed by a ruthless person. But now Lin Fan just waits to be beaten by these disciples every day, and then goes back to sleep and has his beautiful daydreams. After Lin Fan shouted at the blushing disciple, he opened the data panel and looked at it carefully. With a little more effort, his titanium-grade demon body would be upgraded to level 5. As for the secret manual of titanium-grade demonic body, it says that the top level is only the 3rd level, but I am almost at the 5th level. What's going on? Level 1. Experience value 0. Skill. Titanium-grade demonic body, level 4, 2000/3000. Lin Fan looked at his own data panel and felt a little shabby. This level has been at level 1 for a long time. As for upgrading, Lin Fan had thought about it, but he could not find a way. It has been a year since he came to this world. Although he has not left the Holy Demon Sect yet, Lin Fan has also inquired about the level of cultivation here. Acquired, innate, entering the trance, small heavenly position, great heavenly position. Each level is divided into 9 grades. Lin Fan knew that there was probably more to it than just this, but since he was just a sandbag, it was already very good that he could investigate these things. 1. The experience points of titanium-grade demonic body were increasing slowly. Lin Fan looked at the sect disciple in front of him, who was already trying his best, and sighed. It was really weird today. He actually met such a rookie disciple. Each attack could only increase 1 point of experience points. Moreover, the punch was so weak when it hit his body that Lin Fan even thought, "Don't be inexperienced. Sure enough, what you think will come true. 0. Oh my god. This idiot is really useless. He doesn't even gain experience. What's the point of playing this game?" Lin Fan turned his head and looked at his fellow patients who were also in the sandbag group. They were screaming in pain as if they had suffered the greatest harm in their lives. In the Holy Demon sect, if the sandbags were beaten to death by the disciples, no one would care. They would just dig a hole and bury them. "Why don't you scream?" At this moment, the disciple saw Lin Fan, who was screaming before, but now looked around, and suddenly a trace of anger rose in his heart. When the sandbag was wailing after being beaten by him, even though he was a little tired, he was also very excited and felt that he was very powerful. But now he was angry. Lin Fan, who was determined not to waste this day, looked at the sect disciple in front of him and said, "Call me sister. Acting is tiring, okay? Your fists are weak and powerless, like a woman's." When the sect disciple heard these humiliating words, his face turned pale and blue, and his eyes became extremely angry. Lin Fan looked at the sect disciple's expression and burst out laughing. "Your expression is quite good. Go back and drink more milk. Like you're tickling me. You. The sect disciple suddenly seemed to be unable to speak, and his voice became choked. His originally fierce eyes suddenly changed and became watery. "Wow, you bully. My fists are not weak." Lin Fan was stunned at this moment. He was speechless when he saw the disciple running away from the training ground with his buttocks torn and crying loudly. As a disciple of the demon sect, how could he be so unable to withstand the blow? Lin Fan shook his head and stopped paying attention to this guy. Instead, he had to find a way to quickly level up. The 4th level, titanium-grade demonic body, is a bit abnormal. I wonder what the 5th level one will be like. Lin Fan stood there with his chin in his hand, looking at the sect disciples around him who were struggling to beat the sandbags, and suddenly a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Lin Fan took a deep breath and then roared, "Stop it! I have something to say." Lin Fan's roar was completely comparable to the roar of a lion in a novel. In Lin Fan's opinion, it all came down to who had the loudest voice. Back when I was on Earth, I was the class leader, so I had to have a loud voice. The sect disciples who were training with sandbags also stopped because of the roar. At this time, some sandbags quickly took a deep breath and waited for the next wave of attacks. When will days like this end? I heard that if one could practice the titanium-grade demonic body to the 3rd level, they could become outer sect disciples, just like these outer sect disciples who treated them as punching bags. But it seems impossible when you think about it. Some old sandbags who have persisted here for several years have only practiced to the 1st level of titanium-level demonic body. As for the 3rd level, it is so difficult, harder than climbing to the sky. At this time, those sandbags who were still catching their breath were dumbfounded when they heard the following sentence. "Don't look at me with confused eyes. Excuse me for being blunt, but everyone here is trash in my eyes." Lin Fan put one hand behind his back and hooked his finger with contempt at these outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment. Chapter 2. "Come and beat me up, you bunch of rubbish." What did he say? Rubbish. How dare he say we are all rubbish? Damn it. We are the outer disciples of the Holy Demon sect. As long as we pass the assessment, we can become outer disciples. How dare this mere sandbag say such things about us? How despicable. We are all dragons among men, descendants of emperors and generals. Yet this little sandbag humiliates us like this. Brothers and junior brothers, don't worry. Let me teach this ignorant brat a lesson. At this moment, the group of outer disciples who were taking the assessment were completely furious. They didn't expect that the lowest-ranking people in the sect would dare to challenge them. It was simply courting death. At this time, those battered sandbags were filled with gratitude after hearing such hateful words from this person. "Boss." Lin Fan stood there, looking at the man walking towards him. "Boy, You are really too presumptuous. Although I won't take your life, I have to make you understand that arrogance is wrong. Although these outer sect disciples did not learn the martial arts of the holy demon sect, their own strength was quite good compared to ordinary people. Although they could not reach the level of splitting gold and splitting rocks, they could still break a tree the size of a bowl with a single punch. Ah! The outer sect disciple who was preparing to teach Lin Fan a lesson shouted angrily, stretched out his legs, and attacked with all his strength. Lin Fan looked at the man in front of him, a slight smile appearing on the corner of his mouth. 2. This guy is indeed a little more powerful than the previous one. Not bad, not bad. Oh, I told you guys you're trash and you don't believe me. It doesn't hurt at all. Can you give me some strength? Lin Fan stood there and patted his chest in disdain. Boy, don't be so arrogant. Let me fight you. The outer sect disciple who was undergoing assessment was no longer willing to accept evil. 2. At this moment, the outer sect disciple's hands were shaking. He was breathing heavily, and beads of sweat were dripping from his forehead. What's wrong? You can't do it anymore? Lin Fan smiled as he looked at the guy in front of him. Not bad, not bad. He gave more than 100 experience points. Although the subsequent attacks were weak and did not add much experience, the previous attacks were still okay. At this moment, the outer sect disciple who was undergoing assessment looked up at Lin Fan with some disbelief in his eyes. Could it be that this guy was made of iron? You! The outer sect disciple, seeing the guy in front of him being so arrogant, was furious, but he could do nothing. He then shouted, "Brothers and fellow disciples, beat him to death." Lin Fan has been waiting for this moment. He needs the help of these guys to reach the 5th level of titanium-grade demonic body. He doesn't know how many levels this titanium-grade demonic body has. Now he can't feel anything when these outer disciples are hitting him. If he can raise this titanium-grade demonic body to the 100th level, it will be amazing. Haha! Come on, you trash. Show all your might. Lin Fan laughed loudly, and suddenly countless fists hit Lin Fan. Boy, don't be so arrogant. Today I'll let you know how powerful grandpas are. 2. 1. At this time, Lin Fan saw a guy punching him. He was so inexperienced and stood in a very formal position, which made Lin Fan immediately unhappy. This guy is just occupying the toilet without doing anything. Then I kicked him away when he was not paying attention to make room for others. Seeing the experience of titanium-grade demon body constantly soaring, Lin Fan felt very happy in his heart. As expected, with more people, the experience would increase faster. The group of punching bags sitting on the ground around him were extremely grateful when they saw Lin Fan being beaten by a group of people. Brother, go with peace of mind. We will miss you often after you die. Wow! Why do you make me want to cry so much? From now on, you will be our big brother. The outer sect disciples taking the assessment were fighting very hard at this moment, with every punch hitting the flesh. Boy! I'll beat you to your knees and beg for mercy today. Humph, you dare to challenge us? If I don't teach you a lesson today, you really don't know your place. At this moment, in order to better withstand the force, Lin Fan lay face down on the ground. According to Lin Fan's reasoning, no matter whether it is toes or fingers, as long as they are attacked strongly enough, they can gain experience. It's almost there. 2850/3000. There are still 150 experience points left. Please give me more support. After reaching the 5th level, I wonder if the attacks of these guys can still help the titanium demon body gain experience. When they were originally on the 1st level, these outer sect disciples could gain 10 points of experience each time they took the test. As the levels increased, the experience points became less and less. After reaching the 4th level, the increase was only 1 or 2 points. Sometimes there was no experience at all. It seemed that after the level was raised, a new method would be needed. Who kicked me in the ass? Hey! Don't go too far or I'll get angry. Ding! Titanium-grade demonic body has been promoted to the 5th level. Ding! The conditions for activating the strongest upgrade system have been met. Entering the adjustment state, you will be unconscious for 24 hours. 4. 1. Entering coma. The strongest upgrade system is fully activated. At this moment, Lin Fan was unaware of anything. He was really looking forward to the functions of the strongest upgrade system after it was fully activated. At this moment, the outer sect disciples who were taking the test were already exhausted. They were very angry at this punching bag who dared to provoke them. I guess he is probably dead now. Stop it. This guy looks dead. At this time, a relatively strong outer sect disciple who was undergoing assessment shouted loudly with a red face and sweat dripping from his forehead. Hey, it's motionless. It seems like it's really dead. Even a cow wouldn't be able to handle it. At this moment, a disciple stepped forward and touched Lin Fan's nose, and immediately exclaimed, "Hey, there's still breath. He's not dead. This guy must be a monster. He can't even die." Humph. Now he knows the consequences of his arrogance. If he dares to act so presumptuously next time, I'll kill him. Indeed, it's getting late. In 3 days, we will have the outer sect assessment. We need to recuperate and give it our all. When these outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment left the training ground, the sandbags who had been hiding in the distance hurried over. Hurry up and take Big Brother back to recover from his injuries. Big Brother is a real man. I, Ergo Dan, will never submit to anyone in my life except you, Big Brother. What can these outer sect disciples do? They still need to attack together to defeat Big Brother. Big Brother must have practiced the titanium-grade demonic body to the 3rd level. Those outer sect geniuses are only so good. What nonsense are you talking about? Send Big Brother back quickly. Yes, Big Brother, you must hold on. Chapter 3: The most terrifying martial arts in the world. Lin Fan opened his eyes and his facial expression changed immediately. As soon as he opened his eyes, he saw several round-faced people appear in his sight. This would be a fatal thing for anyone. What are you doing? Lin Fan's voice trembled. These guys wouldn't do something inhumane to him while he was unconscious, right? Brother, you finally woke up. I knew you wouldn't be easily defeated. A man standing next to Lin Fan said excitedly. Lin Fan was stunned. What did these guys mean? When did he become the Big Brother? Oh, the system was officially opened and he had to study it. He ignored these guys and started checking it out. Name, Lin Fan. Level 1. Experience points, 0/10. Skill, Titanium Grade Demonic Body Level 5, 3000/10,000. The changes from before are not huge, but there are some changes in the experience points. Big Brother must be hungry. Hurry up and get him something to eat. Yes, yes. Not long after, a big bowl of fragrant chicken soup was served. Lin Fan didn't say much. His hungry stomach protested. Under the greedy gazes of many people, Lin Fan finished the big bowl of chicken soup. I didn't expect that these fellow sandbag gangs actually had these good things hidden. Not bad, not bad. Brother, you must be tired after eating. Let me have a good rest. You must hold on. Big Brother will definitely be a dragon among men in the future. It's a pity that Ergo Dan was beaten to death this morning. He won't have the chance to witness the future glory of Big Brother. As a demonic sect, the Holy Demon Sect often sees life and death. Sandbag members die every day, so these things are nothing new. When everyone left, one person stayed. He is short and not very strong, and his appearance does not suit the general public. However, he is considered a talent as he can survive among the sandbag gang. Brother, this is the martial arts passed down in my family. I believe that only those who are capable can obtain it. Brother, you are a genius among us. You must keep working hard. The man took out a secret book with a blue cover that had become worn out by time from his arms and handed it to Lin Fan. Lin Fan took it without hesitation and looked at the man in front of him. Okay, if you don't die and I can become a world beater, I will ensure that you will rise to great heights. This was the first promise Lin Fan made to someone since he came into this world. Brother, don't be like this. I just want you to work hard. It was obvious that this person did not take Lin Fan's promise to heart. In fact, in his opinion, his brother was bragging a little too much. Lin Fan didn't say much. He knew that the other party obviously didn't believe him either. It is better to help someone in need than to add icing on the cake. Now that he has just started, Lin Fan will always remember those who have helped him. He will also remember the face of the person in front of him silently in his heart, and he will definitely repay him in the future. Brother, then you have a good rest. I'm going back first. Yeah. Lin Fan nodded and then started reading the secret book. Ding! Are you ready to learn the inferior secret manual Monkey Steals Peaches? Of course you have to learn this. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Especially in this world, although Lin Fan is not a high-ranking person in the sect. He also knows that the sect keeps a close eye on the skills. As for the idea that becoming an outer disciple can allow one to enter the library and choose skills, that is complete nonsense. For a sect, there are at least tens of thousands and at most hundreds of thousands of outer disciples. How can there be so many skills for people to choose from? Ding! Let's learn Monkey Steals Peaches. 1 floor, 0/10. Here they go again. This monkey stealing peaches clearly only has 2 levels, and I don't know how many levels it can be upgraded to. Although this monkey stealing peaches is not a first-rate martial art, Lin Fan believes that even if it is trash, he can elevate it to the supreme martial art. Monkey stealing peaches has only 1 move, and this move has the power to destroy the world for men. It can crush your balls in 1 move. Lin Fan took a deep breath and immediately moved his body. His right hand opened like a claw, as if he was going straight to the dragon's lair, grabbing towards that indescribable place. 2. Ding! The inferior skill Monkey Stealing Peaches has been upgraded to the 2nd level, and the character experience is 10. Ding! Character upgrade. Haha! Lin Fan laughed loudly. He didn't expect that in less than a minute, Monkey Stealing Peaches would be upgraded to the 2nd level. It seemed that he was really a genius. As long as Monkey Stealing Peaches is upgraded to the 100th level, God's eggs will be crushed. Level 2. The acquired realm is waiting to be opened. Experience points. 0/20. Skill. Titanium Grade Demonic Body Level 5. 3000/10,000. Monkey Stealing Peaches, 2nd floor, 10/50. Lin Fan stood up and hurried to the martial arts training ground. How could he waste such a good time in his life? He must make good use of it. The sandbag gangs living nearby were also confused when they saw the big brother leave in a hurry. Brother, what are you going to do? Isn't Big Brother seriously injured? Why do you see his steps are vigorous and full of energy? Could it be that nothing happened? Oh no! Big Brother suffered a disaster for us yesterday. I must have mentioned that Godan was beaten to death by those outer sect assessment disciples, so he must be thinking about revenge. Brother is such a loyal person, he will definitely cause trouble. No, we must follow him. Not long after, Lin Fan arrived at the bustling martial arts training ground. Lin Fan was overjoyed when he saw those outer sect disciples who were training hard. This was all experience. Titanium Grade Demon Body has reached the 5th level. I wonder how much experience these guys can add to me. Lin Fan couldn't bear it anymore just thinking about it. Stop it, everyone! Lin Fan roared like he did yesterday. This roar was even louder than yesterday's. The outer sect disciples taking the assessment in the martial arts training ground were also stunned when they saw the person who spoke, and then they started talking to each other. We beat this guy half to death yesterday. How come he's full of energy today? Humph, after yesterday's lesson, I don't think he would dare to act so presumptuously. As soon as the outer sect disciple finished speaking, Lin Fan put his hands on his waist, pointed his fingers forward, and shouted as if pointing to the mountains and rivers. Everyone, please forgive me for being blunt. But this time, before Lin Fan could finish his words, the outer disciples taking the assessment suddenly rioted. Brothers and junior brothers, this guy has provoked us again and insulted us with words. He must pay the price. Lin Fan smiled with satisfaction as he looked at the outer sect disciples who were rushing over for the assessment. This young man is teachable. After what happened yesterday, he's able to draw inferences about other situations. Not bad, not bad. Then let's see how much experience you can bring to the titanium demon body. I just hope it's not too little. Lin Fan looked at this group of outstanding young people with great expectations. 0. At this moment, Lin Fan, who was originally looking forward to it, suddenly changed his expression. What the hell? Boy, I'll let you know what a tragic end is today. You guys don't learn from your mistakes. Do you really think we're easy to mess with? I am the son of the king of Jinnan. I have already mastered the purgatory technique. Now let me show you the torment of a life worse than death. Lin Fan looked at this group of angry outer disciples taking the assessment. If it were yesterday, he might have been very excited because the harder they worked, the more benefits he would get. But now, you little bastards, since you are so useless, I will let you experience the most terrifying martial arts in the world and let you suffer pain that you will never forget for the rest of your life. A monkey steals peaches. Chapter 4. Crushing the eggs you see. At this moment, the sky collapsed and the earth split. The sky was dark. The sea dried up and the rocks crumbled, and people jumped up and down, one after another. A monkey steals peaches. A monkey steals peaches. Suddenly, bursts of screams were heard from the originally majestic martial arts training ground. The voice was as soft as cotton, like a woman's delicate breathing. But if you listened carefully, you could hear a kind of boundless sorrow and sadness in it. Lin Fan repeated the same action at this moment, bending over, stretching out his hand, and pinching with his 5 fingers. Repeatedly and repeatedly, even if the sky collapsed and the earth broke, it could not stop Lin Fan's yearning for experience points. You dirty villain! How dare you use such a despicable move? The outer disciples who were undergoing assessment were all terrified at this moment. They covered their crotches with their hands and felt a cool air rising from the soles of their feet to the top of their heads. So scary, really so scary. Ding! Congratulations on reaching the 3rd level of the inferior skill, Monkey Stealing Peaches. Ding! Defeated a worthless extra disciple. Experience 5. Ding! Defeated a worthless extra disciple. Experience 3. Oh, Lin Fan was ecstatic when he heard these prompts. He didn't expect that this was how the experience needed for character upgrades was obtained. It seems that this is just like playing a game, killing monsters and leveling up. Not bad, not bad. At this moment, the outer sect disciples who had suffered a great loss at the hands of Lin Fan looked at this despicable villain with disdain. But at this moment, they suddenly found that the eyes of this despicable villain suddenly burst out with a terrifying light. It seemed as if something even more brutal was about to happen. A group of outer sect disciples who were taking assessment surrounded Lin Fan. Although the despicable man before them was extremely dirty and made them hard to guard against, they could not tolerate him just leaving with his tail between his legs. Even if it costs a huge price, this despicable villain must be made to die here with hatred. Lin Fan looked at his hands with indifference at this moment. These are a pair of hands that are about to be stained, but for the sake of experience, what does it matter if they are stained? Look at his eyes. This was the exclamation of the outer sect disciples in the front row. They were constantly observing this despicable villain, and they caught the moment when Lin Fan's eyes flashed. Lin Fan raised his head, his deep eyes that seemed filled with guilt, looking at the group of outer disciples taking the assessment. Pure lambs, you are about to be taken over by my evil hands, but don't worry, I will show mercy. Lin Fan looked at the group of outer disciples who were taking the assessment with a fiery look. Do you think you can handle hundreds of us by yourself? Kneel down and admit your mistake, and we will spare your life. Humph! Don't be so presumptuous. A monkey steals peaches. Lin Fan immediately rushed into the crowd. To this group of outer sect disciples undergoing assessment, Lin Fan, with his 5th level titanium-grade demonic body, was like a tank with unparalleled defense. He charged forward recklessly, and no attack could cause any damage to him. Although Monkey Stealing Peaches only has 3 levels now, it has already reached the supreme level of pinching every time you make a move. You despicable villain! I will fight you. Ouch, it hurts. Let go, it's broken, it's broken. An outer sect disciple who was taking the assessment suddenly became dazed and shuddered all over. He covered his crotch with his hands, and 2 tears containing thousands of emotions flowed from the corners of his eyes. A man should have dignity. Now that you have destroyed my dignity, I will fight you till death. A monkey steals peaches. 5. Ding. Defeated a low-level disciple. Experience 5. Ding. Defeated a low-ranking disciple. Experience 2. Ding. Congratulations on your character upgrade. At this moment, Lin Fan was like a madman, with both hands moving out, and he used monkey stealing peaches to perfection, as if he had already cultivated the rules of the monkey stealing peaches. The attack will definitely hit the target. No matter how you resist, you cannot withstand the invasion of Lin Fan's divine hands. Brothers and junior brothers. These thieves are so despicable and filthy. Even though we are from the demon sect, we are not willing to associate with them and use such cruel means. At this moment, the outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment were losing ground. One of them, a man with an unparalleled jade face who could be called a peerless handsome man, waved his arms and shouted, wanting to unite all his fellow disciples to capture Lin Fan. Lin Fan moved among the outer sect disciples taking the assessment like a dragon. Seeing how arrogant these outer sect disciples were, he became interested. The extremely handsome man who was waving his arms and shouting suddenly found a pair of invading eyes staring at him. His heart sank and he had a bad feeling. When his eyes met Lin Fan's, the extremely handsome man suddenly felt a little weak. If Lin Fan did not attack that unspeakable place, it would be fine. Although he was not as strong as his opponent, at least he would not be afraid. But now he was really afraid. Seeing so many of his fellow brothers and sisters fall into the hands of this despicable guy, especially the tragic looks in their eyes, he understood that it must be very painful. When the extremely handsome man saw Lin Fan unconsciously clenching his hands, he suddenly felt a chill and his legs trembled. No! My forehead hurts. The peerlessly handsome man's eyes suddenly became blurred. He let out a soft cry, and then fell to the ground trembling. The scene at this moment was so horrific that it was impossible to look at it directly. When all the outer sect disciples who were taking the test fell to the ground, Lin Fan was no longer able to steal peaches. Name, Lin Fan. Level 9. The acquired realm is waiting to be opened. Experience value 0/1000. Skill, Titanium Grade Demonic Body Level 5, 3000/10,000. Monkey Steals Peaches, 10th level, 1000/10,000. Lin Fan looked at his own data and nodded in satisfaction. Now that his character level has been raised to level 9, he is invincible among these outer sect disciples undergoing assessment. There are numbers floating on the foreheads of these outer sect disciples who are taking the assessment. Some are level 5, some are level 6, and some are level 8. These outer sect disciples who were undergoing assessments definitely had not reached the acquired realm. Lin Fan had seen disciples at the postnatal realm fight before, and their attacks were definitely not like those of the outer sect disciples undergoing assessment. The outer sect assessment will begin in 3 days. Even if he has no competitive spirit, he has to become an outer sect disciple. This place is too small for Lin Fan after all. If he wants to become stronger, he needs to go to a wider world. Lin Fan turned around and left, then stopped after taking a few steps. Those who had seen this despicable man about to leave slowly stood up, but when they heard these words, their legs went weak and they collapsed to the ground again. After what happened today, they no longer had the heart to fight each other. How vile, despicable and shameless. How could such a person exist in this world? Lin Fan sighed. He knew that these outer disciples who were taking the examination were so afraid of him, but how could he blame himself for it all? It was his fault that he only knew the monkey stealing peaches move. There is a saying that goes well. One trick can conquer the world. When you only know one martial art, don't be too picky about it. Lin Fan also discovered that bodybuilding exercises were different from martial arts. After the titanium-grade demon body is upgraded to a certain level, it will need the help of more powerful external forces to help it upgrade. When practicing martial arts, one can gain experience by fighting against enemies, no matter whether they are weak or strong. Although there are differences in strength, no matter how weak a person is, he will gain experience. Chapter 5 Rocket-like Ascent. Night. The not-so-big tiled house was now crowded with people. Lin Fan's battle today left the sandbag party speechless. I can only give Lin Fan a thumbs up to show my admiration. Brother, is the move you used today the monkey stealing peaches? Xiao Liuzi has spent quite a while in the Holy Demon sect, and he has some understanding of the situation here. Although monkey stealing peaches was a martial art passed down in his family, he knew that there was a huge difference compared to the martial arts used by outer sect disciples. Yeah. Lin Fan nodded. That's great. I didn't expect that the family martial arts would be so powerful. Of course, only you, big brother, can bring out its true power. Xiao Liuzi said excitedly. Lin Fan was a little embarrassed, but didn't say much. Brother, the outer sect assessment will begin in 2 days. Do you want to participate? Xiao Liuzi asked. Xiao Liuzi, aren't you talking nonsense? Big brother, if you can choose not to participate, do you really want to stay here with us forever? That's true. Xiao Liuzi nodded. Although Lin Fan now has a system, he has been in this world for a year. Although he is not very familiar with it, he knows that this world is very dangerous. In the sect, he, a mere sandbag, dared to go against the outer sect disciples who were undergoing assessment. He also understood that talent was the most important thing for a sect. You have the power to challenge anyone, but you will have to bear the consequences at your own risk. If someone showed a little talent and was killed by jealous fellow disciples, then this sect would not be able to survive forever and would have destroyed itself long ago. Lin Fan had 2 ideas. The first was to seriously improve his own strength, and the second was to attract the attention of the people above and leave this place. But Lin Fan missed one thing, that is, the training ground for the outer sect disciples is a deserted place in the entire Holy Demon sect. Which high-ranking figure would come here for no reason? Therefore, all this depends on yourself. Now that you have the golden finger, if you don't do something in your career, you will really be sorry for yourself as a time traveler. Lin Fan got up early, filled his stomach with something to eat, and then hurried to the martial arts training ground. Now he was at level 9, and monkey stealing peaches had reached level 10. Although the experience gained was slow now, no matter what, on the day of the outer sect assessment, he would be as strong as he could be. A gentle breeze blows in the martial arts training ground. A cool breeze blew up the dust on the blue bricks, and a few leaves floated in the air and finally fell to the ground. It's deserted, very deserted. What's going on? Lin Fan was stunned when he saw the scene in front of him. Where did all these people go? How come the martial arts training ground, which was once bustling with activity, has become so deserted and empty? Lin Fan held his chin with his fingers and looked at everything in front of him helplessly. These outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment were just too damn weak. It's just that the peaches were stolen. Is there any need to be so scared? Alas, it seems that I have nowhere to go these days, and I have to rely on myself for everything. You can gain experience by defeating others, and you can also gain experience by killing the monsters outside. But what he hated was that he was just a punching bag in the Holy Demon sect and had no right to leave the sect. Otherwise, go to the map outside and kill a lot of monsters. At this moment, Lin Fan saw 2 people coming from a distance. Lin Fan was delighted that someone had finally arrived. But then his expression changed because the level floating above one of the people's heads was this. Then he saw that next to the young man in the long green gown was the peerless handsome man whose peach he had stolen yesterday. Lin Fan was shocked. Could it be that this guy was not satisfied with what happened yesterday and had found an expert to take revenge on him? The 8th level of acquired cultivation is only 2 steps away from the innate realm. How could such a person come to such an inconspicuous martial arts training ground? Besides, such a person would never be the type to have time to help others. Are you talking about him? Asked the man in the green gown. Yes, senior brother. He is the person I was talking about. The peerless handsome man stood respectfully aside, not daring to do anything presumptuous. Even when his archenemy Lin Fan was standing right in front of him, he did not dare to show the slightest sign of gloating. No, Lin Fan's heart sank. This guy is not the helper he found. If he was a helper, this extremely handsome man would definitely not have such an expression. It seems that there is some unspeakable secret. The man in green looked at Lin Fan and nodded slightly. Suddenly, Lin Fan felt a surge of energy like a wave. Lin Fan had no idea what was happening. He only felt as if his chest had been hit. The blood in his body was churning, and he spat out a mouthful of bright red flowers. Very strong. Lin Fan retreated dozens of steps, half knelt on the ground, holding his chest, and looked at the man in front of him. Ding! 30,000 experience points? Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the titanium-grade demon body. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the titanium-grade demon body. Lin Fan was shocked and felt extremely terrified. Just one move was enough to upgrade the titanium-grade demon body to the next level. Well, that's good. Even with a full-strength attack from the second-level acquired realm, you only spit out blood. It seems that you have trained the titanium-grade demonic body to a very high level. Come with me. The man in green nodded, his eyes flashing, as if he was very curious about this sandbag who could train the titanium-grade demonic body to such a level. Wait! Lin Fan calmed the blood and chi in his body and looked at the man in green. This is strength. If you don't have strength, you are just a fish on the chopping board of others, at the mercy of others. But for Lin Fan, how could he give up such a great opportunity? Whether on Earth or now, Lin Fan is a madman, an absolute madman. He will never stop until all the interests in front of him are crushed. The previous 5th-level titanium-grade demonic body could only spit out blood after enduring a full-force attack from the 2nd-level acquired realm. I don't know how effective the 7th-level titanium-grade demonic body is. Lin Fan knew that this 8th-level postnatal disciple in front of him must have something that needed his attention, and would definitely not take his life. Of course, Lin Fan would never say that like an idiot. Please come and hit me. You deserve a beating for saying such things. You couldn't bear the humiliation I inflicted on you yesterday, so you called for help today. Do you think I'll be scared? I'm telling you, I, Lin Fan, am afraid of everything, but I'm not afraid of others seeking revenge on me. After saying this, Lin Fan rushed forward. The man in green looked at Lin Fan and smiled slightly. Interesting. Bang! The man in green did not make any movement. It was as if there was a wall in front of him. Lin Fan rushed forward and flew out with a whoosh. Lin Fan couldn't help but spit out another mouthful of blood. Ding! Experience. Lin Fan was extremely excited at this moment. In the past, when he was beaten by these outer disciples for assessment, his strength only increased by a few points. He did not expect that this guy could increase it so much with just a casual blow. But this is not enough, I need more experience. Humph! Weak and powerless. This is the helper you found? I don't think it's that great. Lin Fan stood up and said, Stop it. Don't be rude to me. The handsome man's face changed and he scolded. It's okay. It's quite interesting. The limit of the titanium-grade demon body is the 3rd level. Even if you cultivate to the 3rd level, it can only support a full-strength attack from the 1st level of the acquired realm. It's becoming more and more interesting now. Well, let me see your limit today. The man in green chuckled. Chapter 6, Brother, take one step at a time. The peerlessly handsome man standing next to the man in green was stunned at the moment. How is this possible? How could this guy possibly hold on? You are the most interesting sandbag I have ever seen in the more than 10 years since I joined the sect. The man in green said with a chuckle, and then his expression changed. His originally gentle face suddenly became extremely stern. However, steel is easy to break. Lin Fan was hit and flew into the air, with blood-red flowers dancing in the air. Ding! Experience 3000. It's really cool. Lin Fan lay on the ground, feeling the added experience, his heart almost bursting with excitement. The man in green looked at Lin Fan lying on the ground, a smile curling his lips. A single blow from a 3rd stage, half-step cultivator is too powerful for even a titanium-grade demon body at the highest level. But don't worry, you won't die. I've been careful. Go, carry him and follow me. The peerlessly handsome man looked at Lin Fan lying there, gloating over his misfortune, and could only say one sentence to him. The man in green turned his back and prepared to leave. He wondered if his senior brother was interested in recruiting a talent who could withstand a blow from a third-level half-step cultivator. There are so many extraordinary people in the world that it is impossible to count them all. The holy demon sect has been around for thousands of years, and all kinds of disciples have appeared there. This sandbag practiced the titanium-grade demon body and cultivated it to a higher level. He must be considered a talent, but this is not enough. The man in green has already seen that this sandbag has not even reached the acquired realm. In his eyes, it is just a slightly special ant and will never amount to anything great. At that moment, the man in green's expression changed, looking somewhat incredulous. Haha, not bad, not bad. A little heavier than just now, but not enough. At this time, Lin Fan stood up and rubbed his chest. It really hurt, but there were not many people who gave away experience for free. If he didn't seize the opportunity, he would regret it later. You! The man in green looked at Lin Fan in astonishment. What was wrong with this guy? Why was he like this? Lin Fan looked at the man in green and had a clue of a plan in his mind. He was exposed. The titanium-grade demon body had 3 levels and could not withstand the attack of an acquired master. Now he let this guy beat him up to improve his experience in the titanium-grade demon body, so that he would have enough self-protection ability. Once I follow the man in blue, I don't know what will happen, whether I will be dead or alive or half dead. The sandbag party is not yet a true disciple of the holy demon sect, and no one cares whether they live or die. If others cannot discover the specialness, then prove it yourself. Okay, I want to see how long you can hold on. The man in green clothes increased his momentum and hit Lin Fan with a full-strength attack of the 3rd level of acquired power. Ding! Experience 4,000. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the titanium-grade demon body. Lin Fan was so happy at this moment that he was about to fly. The upgrade was too damn fast. He would level up after a few hits. Moreover, this experienced baby would slowly improve his cultivation and help him to continuously increase his strength. His experience was also increasing rapidly. If this man in green displayed all his 8th level acquired strength right from the start, even if his titanium-grade demonic body had reached the 7th level, he would be instantly blasted into pieces. When the man in green saw Lin Fan get up again, his originally calm expression gradually turned into a bit of anger. He felt humiliated. Although he had controlled his cultivation, this guy had been beaten to the point of vomiting blood. But he stood up again and again. This was really unbearable. Okay, I won't believe this today. The man in green became angry. Seeing the man in blue getting angry, Lin Fan felt happy. It's right that you don't believe this. In the end, I will make you believe it even if you don't believe it. Lin Fan flew out again. Ding! Experience 5,000. Get up. Fly out again. Ding! Experience 6,000. Ding! Experience 6,000. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the titanium-grade demon body. Why can you still stand up? The man in green was a little unable to maintain his composure. Lin Fan's repeated standing up had seriously dampened his enthusiasm. The extremely handsome man standing next to him was already stunned. He stood there motionless, as if he had seen a ghost. Come. Lin Fan didn't want to say anything more and just hooked his finger. Damn it. I won't believe it today. I don't quite believe it either, so you have to prove yourself. Lin Fan looked at the man in green and said comfortingly, Damn it. Since that's the case, I'll attack you with all my strength and see how you can resist. The man in green was also angered by Lin Fan. After all, he was a young man in his 20s, so it was natural that he was a little hot-tempered. All the years of cultivation collapsed at this moment. When Lin Fan heard that he was going to attack with all his strength, he was shocked and almost pissed himself. If you use the full force of the 8th level acquired realm, you will smash me into pieces. Brother Chingy, slow down. You were only at the 3rd level of the acquired realm just now. Now you should be at the 4th level. Take one step at a time and don't take any extra steps. Lin Fan shouted hurriedly. If the opponent still uses all his strength later, Lin Fan has already made up his mind that he must kneel down and admit defeat. He cannot just be beaten like a dog. Okay, I'll use a half-step attack from the 4th level of Acquired Realm to see how you can resist it. The man in green let out a long roar and his body shape changed. From the beginning till now, Lin Fan had not been able to see clearly how the man in green attacked. It's really too fast. Lin Fan flew out again. At this time, Lin Fan was not immersed in the pleasure of his rapidly increasing experience, but was thinking about a problem. It seems that I must reevaluate the disciples of the Holy Demon Sect. Their IQ is quite touching. At this moment, Lin Fan looked at the man in blue and couldn't help but feel a little love for him. Of course, this is a sign of affection. If there are more talents like this, we will have nothing to worry about in the future. Ding! Experience 7,000. Okay, senior brother. This attack made my blood boil and I vomited a basin of blood. But this is not enough. Come again. Lin Fan wiped his mouth, as if he had eaten something without paying. Damn it! How can you still stand up? Let me show you my strongest strength. The man in green had long black hair that fluttered in the wind. No, senior brother Chingy, that was a half-step attack from the 4th level of the Acquired Realm just now. Now you should use your full strength. Take it one step at a time and go slowly. Don't go back on your word. Lin Fan shouted. When Lin Fan heard this, he secretly wiped away his tears. It was very touching. Ding! Experience 8,000. Ding! Titanium grade demon body has been upgraded. Ding! Experience 9,000. Ding! Experience 10,000. Ding! Titanium grade demon body has been upgraded. Ding! Titanium grade demon body has been upgraded. Ding! Titanium grade demon body has been upgraded. A half-step attack from the 4th level of the Acquired Realm. A full-strength attack from the 4th level of Acquired Power. The 5th level of Acquired Cultivation. The 6th level of Acquired Cultivation. At this moment, the peerlessly handsome man had already fallen to the ground with foam at the mouth and convulsions all over his body. No way, it's absolutely possible. And at this time, the man in green had messy black hair, red eyes, and a ferocious face. Ah, why can you still stand up? The man in green had lost all his image at this moment, and he hit Lin Fan again and again. Ding! Experience 1,000. Ding! Experience 1,000. Lin Fan sighed and glanced at the data. Level 9. The Acquired Realm is waiting to be opened. Experience value 0/1000. Skill Titanium grade demonic body level 18 0/100000. Monkey steals peaches 10th level 1000/10,000. Lin Fan felt that he had gone too far, really too far. Senior brother Chingy had already displayed all his strength of the 8th level of Acquired Realm, but at this moment Lin Fan had already become immune to it. Seeing his senior brother in green beating him madly, Lin Fan could only let him attack. After he vented his inner resentment, he should calm down. Chapter 7. Brother, you are a generous person. Why? Why, you can still stand up. I Mingyang entered the sect at the age of 4. For the past 18 years, I have diligently cultivated day and night, finally reaching the 8th level of the Acquired Realm and becoming an outer sect disciple. Why can't I even defeat a disciple who is not even an Acquired Realm disciple now? Lin Fan looked at Mingyang and saw 2 hot tears slowly rolling down from the corners of his eyes, feeling sorry for him. I think I dealt a heavy blow to Mingyang. Although the Holy Demon Sect is a demonic sect, Lin Fan has not seen any cruel things happen in this year. Although people may die from time to time due to being sandbags, we cannot blame others. Since we have become sandbags, we must be aware of this. Lin Fan sighed and placed one hand on Mingyang's shoulder. Don't say that. I can accept it. There are so many geniuses in the world. I am a person who can only replace talent with countless sweat. I can't compare with geniuses. Mingyang wiped away tears and said, this kind of thing is like a bolt from the blue for anyone. No, senior brother and I want to tell you something. I just hope you won't be too angry. Lin Fan said, looking at Mingyang. In Lin Fan's opinion, Mingyang was a pretty good person. If I had known that this guy was a good guy, I wouldn't have been so excessive. It's no big deal to let him knock to the ground. But it's too late to say anything now. From now on, you and I are brothers from the same sect. There's no need to be so formal. Although those so-called righteous people outside have demonized our demon sect, as long as you stay here, you will find that we in the demon sect are more loyal and righteous than those so-called righteous people. And I, Mingyang, said, Okay, senior brother and I, your words are so magnanimous that I am deeply impressed. So I have no choice but to offend you. Lin Fan was so moved that he burst into tears when he heard it. This is what a sect should be called. The plots in novels like intrigue and deception. I am more powerful than you, so I will kill you, and so on are all completely and totally deceiving. I am a generous person. Even if you offend me, I won't be angry. After I take you to meet my senior brother and introduce you to the sect, you will be considered my junior brother. And I, Mingyang, looked at Lin Fan with his head held high and his chest puffed out. The demeanor that a senior brother should have surged towards Lin Fan like a wave. Okay, with what senior brother and I said, I feel relieved. Lin Fan's face was filled with joy. It's okay. And I, Mingyang, smiled and waved his hand. After comforting himself, his heart, which was about to collapse, quickly turned around. The world has changed. And I, Mingyang, suddenly discovered that the scorching sun in the sky suddenly broke into pieces, and everything in front of him suddenly became dark, and he could not see anything clearly. But a word came to my ears. A monkey steals peaches. At this moment, it was so fast that Lin Fan took a deep breath and instantly activated the 10th level of monkey stealing peaches. At this moment, it seemed that nothing between heaven and earth could resist Lin Fan's devilish hands. The movements are quick and concise. Bend down, reach out, and grab the peach. At this moment, an extremely powerful sonic wave came. This sonic wave was strong and powerful, with an unstoppable power. And this roar came from the mouth of senior brother and I. At this moment, and I, Mingyang's face turned pale. His hands trembled as he covered his crotch. He collapsed to the ground and foamed at the mouth. Lin Fan looked at Anai Mingyang and felt even more guilty, but forget it. Since senior brother and I had already been deeply hurt, he didn't mind being hit again. Ding! Monkey steals peaches experience 200. Ding! Congratulations on defeating Anai Mingyang, the 8th level of the acquired realm. Experience 20,000. Ding! Congratulations on your upgrade. Ding! Congratulations on breaking through the threshold of the acquired realm and entering the acquired realm. At this moment, Lin Fan was delighted. He had finally successfully advanced to the acquired realm. Name, Lin Fan. Level 11. Acquired level 2. Experience value, 0/50,000. Skill, Titanium grade demonic body level 18, 0/10000000. Monkey steals peaches, 10th level, 1200/10,000. Lin Fan laughed wildly. He didn't expect that senior brother Ni's temporary sacrifice would actually gain him so much experience. It was really cool. You. At this time, Anai Mingyang was lying on the ground, covering his crotch with one hand and pointing at Lin Fan with the other. He looked extremely angry, as if he had the urge to get up and fight Lin Fan to the death. Brother Anai, you are a generous person. I did this just to verify it. Lin Fan said innocently. You. Anai Mingyang even wanted to die at this moment. He stood up with difficulty. The pain in his peach below made his teeth chatter. He felt an indescribable sadness. Grandeur, senior brother, is naturally a magnanimous person. Junior brother is still young and has a playful nature. Senior brother can understand. Anai Mingyang tried hard to recover. If he was seriously injured, Anai Mingyang would never be like this now, but that is a man's weak point. After suffering such a heavy blow, he was able to stand up, which also shows that he has a deep cultivation. I knew that senior brother is a generous person, Lin Fan said with a smile. Okay, come with me. Anai Mingyang swore to the sky that after completing this task, he would never meet this guy again. It's dangerous, so dangerous. Brother, where are we going? Lin Fan could see that Anai Mingyang was not a treacherous person, so he asked directly. I will take you to see Senior Brother Meng, and then Senior Brother Meng will introduce you to become an outer disciple. And Mingyang frowned slightly, as if Dandan's sadness had not yet disappeared. Ah! Lin Fan was stunned, a little bit unbelievable. Isn't this person here to harm him? And Mingyang looked at Lin Fan's expression, then said calmly, "Do you think I'm here to harm you?" "No," Lin Fan said hurriedly. "This novel is really harmful." Obviously, and Mingyang didn't believe what Lin Fan said. This kind of intrigue and deception is rare in the Holy Demon Sect. Since its establishment, the Holy Demon Sect has experienced both prosperity and decline. They understand that internal strife is always a major problem for the sect. I understand, Senior Brother and I. The outer sect assessment will be held in 2 days. I can actually participate. Lin Fan said, "You are a genius." When he reported it, Senior Brother Meng didn't quite believe it, and I didn't quite believe it either. Now I believe even more that you are a genius, and any genius is a precious person to the sect. So these time-consuming assessments are just the threshold for ordinary people. And Mingyang said. Lin Fan nodded, and the oppressive atmosphere that had once existed disappeared at this moment. And Mingyang looked at Lin Fan and said softly, "Entering the acquired realm is a threshold. The innate realm is a smaller threshold, and the divine realm is an even bigger threshold. For a sect, if one person out of 1,000 can enter the divine realm, it is a great event. You will understand all this in the future. It's getting late, and Senior Brother Meng must be getting impatient." "What about him?" Lin Fan pointed at the peerless handsome man who fainted on the ground. "He has made great contributions in recommending talents. I will give him a reward in the future. Let's go." And Mingyang said. When Lin Fan heard this, he was shocked. "Oh my God, it turns out that, in the end, I am a popular person." Judging from Mingyang's smiling face, it seems that there will be a reward. The guilt I felt before disappeared at this moment. And if you enter the outer gate, then... At this moment, Lin Fan laughed in a sly manner. Chapter 8: Pigs in the Novice Area. Along the way, Lin Fan contacted Mingyang and learned a lot of information. At the same time, he highly recognized the latest system of the Holy Demon Sect. A genius is someone who needs to be cultivated with emphasis. In the Holy Demon Sect, the outer sect disciples were divided into 9 major areas for assessment. Lin Fan was only staying in a small branch of one of the areas, and this small branch alone had hundreds of people. This is probably a terrifying number when estimated as a whole. In order to discover the geniuses hidden in the sect, the Holy Demon Sect has promulgated a reward system for discovering and recommending geniuses. Senior Brother and I, what kind of personality does Senior Brother Meng have? Do you think he will like a genius like me? Lin Fan asked with a grin. And Mingyang, who was walking in front, stopped. Lin Fan looked at Mingyang, not knowing what the outcome would be. Junior Brother Lin, Senior Brother Meng is a very serious person. You must not act rude in front of him. Remember. And Mingyang said seriously. He was a little afraid that this junior brother, who still had a childlike heart, would do something out of line in front of Senior Brother Meng. I understand. Lin Fan nodded, and was a little curious about this so-called Senior Brother Meng. Among tens of thousands of outer disciples, he can be ranked in the top 10, so he must be a powerful person. Along the way, Lin Fan seemed to have walked into the Grandview Garden. During the year he became a sandbag, Lin Fan had not been to other places, so naturally he didn't know how big the Holy Demon Sect was. And now everything in front of him brought Lin Fan into a new world. We're here. This is where Senior Brother Meng lives. Lin Fan looked at the house in front of him and felt a longing in his heart. One day he would have all of this. Go in, and remember, don't be reckless, said Mingyang. Yes, I know Senior Brother and I. Lin Fan nodded. Lin Fan was very willing to get close to Senior Brother and I. Although he would pretend to be cool occasionally, his IQ was very touching. The courtyard is surrounded by white walls, surrounded by green willows and dotted with rocks, looking magnificent and elegant. This is where the 10 most outstanding geniuses from the outer sect live. It is truly something to yearn for. Senior Brother Meng. and I Mingyang said respectfully while standing outside the house. Come in. At this moment, a faint voice came from the room. Lin Fan was actually a little nervous at this moment. Listening to the sound, it feels quite high-end. Lin Fan followed I Mingyang and walked inside. The house was filled with ancient charm and fragrance, like the place where literati and poets lived. For the demon sect, such a place seemed a bit out of place. Is this the genius that people below are talking about? Meng Yangshuan closed the ancient book in his hand, and then looked at Lin Fan carefully. Lin Fan was also looking straight at the so-called 10 outstanding talents of the outer sect. A dragon among men. As a man, Lin Fan felt envious and jealous. What was wrong with this world? Why did so many men look so weird? The so-called senior brother Meng in front of him, although he looks weird, is intimidating without even getting angry, and there is an indescribable feeling about him. To put it in modern terms, it means being so fucking cool. It's not easy to communicate. It's not very easy to communicate. When Lin Fan took a look at the level, he was instantly convinced. Oh my god, with such a high level of cultivation, he is still hiding among the outer disciples. Is he crazy? As long as one breaks through the innate realm, one can become an inner disciple. Once one enters the realm of enlightenment, one can become a true disciple and be eligible to compete for the position of sect leader. If one is a little less skilled, one can also become an elder or something. This is definitely a max-level character who refuses to leave the novice area. Of course, this was just what Lin Fan thought in his mind. Although the titanium-grade demon body was already at the 18th level, Lin Fan thought that the other party might be able to turn him into ashes with just a breath. Are you Lin Fan? Meng Yangshuan asked. Yes. Lin Fan nodded calmly. Although your cultivation is a bit high, I am also a person with a system. I can't lose face. Senior brother Meng, junior brother Lin's titanium-grade demonic body has reached a very high level and can withstand my full-strength attack. He is a rare genius. And I Mingyang said, Oh! Senior brother Meng's gentle eyes changed slightly. Lin Fan suddenly felt as if he was naked in front of senior brother Meng. Lin Fan felt a little embarrassed. Senior brother Meng had a high level of cultivation, so why did he like this tune? But before long, this feeling disappeared. Yes, it is indeed very strange. Titanium-grade demonic body is the lowest level of physical training in the Holy Demon Sect. You are an amazing talent to be able to cultivate to such a realm. It's just that your own cultivation is a bit low. You need to work harder. Meng Yangshuan looked calm, but he was extremely shocked in his heart and felt a little unbelievable. But how could a master like himself show shock in front of the junior? Thank you, senior brother Meng, for your warning, Lin Fan said. Mingyang, take him to register with Elder Li. Meng Yangshuan said. Yes. And I Mingyang nodded and prepared to leave. Senior brother? After March, there will be an inner sect assessment. You should work hard and put down what you are doing and give it a try. Meng Yangshuan said. Brother, wherever you are, I will be there. And I Mingyang said with a firm look. Lin Fan, who had been standing by without saying a word, glanced at the two of them and wondered in his heart. Could it be that I Mingyang likes men? I can't imagine it. Oh, go ahead. Meng Yangshuan sighed. Outside. Along the way, I Mingyang didn't say a word, and Lin Fan felt a little bored. What is senior brother Meng's cultivation level? Lin Fan asked casually. After all, it was really strange for a 6th-level divine realm god to stay in an outer sect. Innate level 3. And I Mingyang replied. Lin Fan nodded. There was indeed a problem. His cultivation was hidden and not known to others. Could it be that Meng Yangshuan was really a god who pretended to be a pig and wanted to eat the tiger? Brother Meng asked you to take the inner sect assessment. Why didn't you go? This person is moving up the ladder, but you want to stay in the outer sect forever. Lin Fan asked. You don't understand. And I Mingyang didn't say much and just replied with this sentence. When Lin Fan heard this, he exploded instantly. Oh my god, I don't understand? You didn't even tell me what the situation was, and you just said I didn't understand. I'm not a gossipy person. Whether you are gay or not has nothing to do with me. But this is really very curious. Lin Fan wanted to open Ni Mingyang's brain and take a closer look. What was going on? He even gave up the chance of promotion and wealth. But seeing Ni Mingyang's current dead look, Lin Fan was too lazy to ask any more questions. Chapter 9. I am a rare genius. Talent Registration Hall. Lin Fan stood under the doorplate of this hall, unable to come back to his senses for a long time. Domineering. It perfectly demonstrates the high-end quality of this genius. It seems that no matter where he goes, this talent will always be in high demand. Junior brother, let's go in quickly. Ni Mingyang was very friendly to Lin Fan, without any intention of urging him. The key point is that it is not okay to have a bad attitude. Ni Mingyang still feels that his testicles are hurt. This junior brother's move was a bit insidious. It seems necessary to report this matter to senior brother Meng. Okay. Lin Fan reacted and nodded, then followed Ni Mingyang inside. Along the way, Lin Fan discovered that the Holy Demon Sect was indeed a large sect. Its area was so huge that it was almost impossible to get lost. Outer disciple. Ni Mingyang recommends a talent. Please meet Elder Li. Ni Mingyang said respectfully while standing outside the door. I understand. At this time, a faint voice was heard in the pitch-black hall. The voice sounded a little scary and creepy. Lin Fan, who was fearless, couldn't help but shudder. Senior brother and I? Why is Elder Li's words so creepy? Lin Fan asked secretly. Sure. Be careful with your words, junior brother. You have to remember that when you see Elder Li later, don't panic, understand? Ni Mingyang suddenly remembered something and regretted not telling Lin Fan earlier. Now that they were standing outside the hall, he couldn't explain it in too much detail. Panic? What's the panic? Lin Fan was stunned, somewhat confused. Could this Elder Li be a man-eating tiger? But even so, Lin Fan was not afraid. At worst, I can use the monkey stealing peaches trick. Sure. Keep quiet. Elder Li is here. Ni Mingyang's face changed slightly, and then he stood there respectfully. He was wearing a black robe and had a rather burly figure. Forehead. At this moment, a ray of sunlight shone on Elder Li's face. Lin Fan's expression suddenly changed, and his eyes flashed with disbelief and fear. How could this person become like this? Half human face, half skull face, you can even see the slightly beating brain. It's extremely terrifying. It's really terrifying. Thinking of Ni Mingyang's words, Lin Fan lowered his head and stopped observing Elder Li. Even though Lin Fan was a broad-minded person, he had never seen such a situation. If Ni Mingyang had not reminded him before, Lin Fan would have shouted that there was something fishy going on. Elder Li, this is Lin Fan. He has cultivated the titanium-grade demonic body to an extremely high level and can withstand my full-strength attack from the 8th level of the acquired realm. Ni Mingyang introduced in detail. The Talent Registration Hall is the foundation of the Holy Demon Sect. Countless talented and outstanding disciples must be registered there, and in the future, they will receive a lot of resources to allow them to develop. When the Talent Registration Hall was first established, the sect attached great importance to talented disciples. However, as time passed, there were more and more geniuses, and the sect's resources could not be provided endlessly. Therefore, although the current Talent Registration Hall also provides a lot of resources, it is not as crazy as before. Oh, if that's the case, I'd like to take a look. At this time, Elder Li showed some interest. Lin Fan stood there, his weak body suddenly trembling. Don't get so close to me. Lin Fan raised his head slightly, and when they looked at each other, he saw Elder Li's eyes with green flames and half-skull face. Are you afraid of my face? Elder Li smiled as he looked at the newcomer in front of him. Although Lin Fan's expression was somewhat disrespectful, Elder Li was not angry. No, are you kidding? If you tell the truth at this time, you must be stupid. But Elder Li's face is really creepy. Ignorance is not a crime. In the future, you will see people who are more terrifying than me. Elder Li laughed at himself and then put a hand on Lin Fan's shoulder. Suddenly, Lin Fan felt a stream of air flowing in his body, as if it was searching for something. Lin Fan was about to cry at this moment. I've been peeped at twice in one day. You can never get my asshole. And something even more terrifying happened to Lin Fan. The originally calm green flames in Elder Li's eyes suddenly jumped, and the brighter green flames gave Lin Fan goosebumps. Oh my God! Who are these people? It makes me so embarrassed. Penetrating. This look is so penetrating. Genius! Elder Li grabbed Lin Fan excitedly. The titanium-grade demonic body has actually been cultivated to this level. This is a rare talent that only appears once in 1,000 years. And I Mingyang, who had been standing there respectfully, was originally wondering why Elder Li talked so much today. But when he heard Elder Li's first words, a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Junior brother must be a genius, otherwise he would not be recommended here. But when he heard the latter part, and I Mingyang was stunned. He is a peerless genius that appears only once in 1,000 years. Lin Fan, who was a little nervous at first, opened his already big eyes even wider when he heard what Elder Li said. Ha ha! A peerless genius. A peerless genius that appears once in 1,000 years. Elder Li, a genius like me who only appears once in 1,000 years must be protected by everyone in the sect, right? Do you want to become the sect master's personal disciple and be taught personally? Lin Fan was delighted at the moment, for the Holy Demon sect was so fond of geniuses. A rare genius like me who appears once in 1,000 years, shouldn't I be treated as a pampered person? With the sect's various high-end resources and its own system, how far away is the day when it becomes an invincible god? As he thought about it, Lin Fan became happy. He never thought that he would be so popular in this world. God has been very kind to me. At this moment, Elder Li, who was originally very excited, suddenly calmed down. Okay, good. Come and collect your outer sect necessities. Mingyang, this is the reward for recommending talents. Then take the new junior brother to the assigned residence and explain the precepts of the Holy Demon sect to him. Elder Li said calmly. Yes, Elder Li. And I Mingyang respectfully accepted the reward and nodded in response. At this moment, a basin of ice-cold water poured from Lin Fan's head to his feet, and he woke up completely. Elder Li, I'm a rare genius that appears once in 1,000 years, and this is the treatment I get. Lin Fan was helpless. Could it be that his previous excited expression was all a lie? I was already prepared to meet the sect master. How could it turn out like this? A mountain rises from the ground, so take one step at a time and don't rush things. After saying this, Elder Li's figure gradually disappeared into the dark hall. Lin Fan was helpless at this moment. The rhythm was wrong. The peerless geniuses in novels are either hacked to death or treated like treasures. How could a genius like me, who only appears once in 1,000 years, be treated like this? Heaven and earth, please give me an explanation. Chapter 10 Brother, please stay. Senior brother and I, have we come to the wrong place? Lin Fan looked at the extremely simple building in front of him and thought about senior brother Meng's residence. These were completely two extremes. That's right, the outer disciples' quarters are all here, and I Mingyang said, smiling. Junior brother, work hard. In the path of cultivation, if you don't make progress, you will regress. But you are a genius. You will definitely succeed. Thank you, senior brother and I. Lin Fan nodded. Senior brother and I. Why is this residence so different from senior brother Meng's? Junior brother, senior brother Meng is one of the 10 outstanding and talented disciples in the outer sect, so the treatment he receives is naturally a little different. However, as long as you work hard, you will definitely receive the same treatment as senior brother Meng in the future, said Anai Mingyang. Lin Fan looked at Anai Mingyang and nodded. Isn't this just nonsense? With my ability, as long as I work a little harder, these 10 outstanding and talented disciples will also be my experience babies. But now, it's better for us to keep a low profile, take it slow, and take one step at a time. Senior brother and I, how many outer disciples are there? Lin Fan asked. 8,888 people. And I Mingyang said. When Lin Fan heard this, he was immediately happy. There were more than 8,000 people. It seemed that if they could go through a circle of them one by one and gain some experience, it would be a sure thing for them to reach the innate realm. Junior brother, what are you laughing at? And Mingyang asked in confusion when he saw Lin Fan grinning foolishly alone. No, nothing to laugh at, senior brother. I'm tired too. I want to go and have a rest first. Lin Fan wanted to find out the situation around him at this moment, think of the necessary measures, and prepare to do something big. Okay. Then you can have a good rest. I will leave first. And Mingyang said, Goodbye, senior brother. I'll come to see you in a few days. Lin Fan waved his hand and said, and Mingyang, who was about to leave, turned pale with fright when he heard this, and then quickened his pace. No, I have to move after I go back. If this guy comes to find me, it will definitely be no good. Lin Fan opened the things he had received. A bottle of elixir in white porcelain, a green robe, a pair of shoes, a long sword, an iron token, and a not-too-thick booklet. And then nothing happened. That's all. Lin Fan sighed, feeling that this sect was a bit stingy. Lin Fan poured out the pills from the white medicine bottle. White, the size of soybeans. Ding, the Qi Yun Dan was found. Special effect. For ordinary people, it can enhance the flow of qi in the body, strengthen the body, and refine the internal organs. Only one pill can be taken per day. Taking increase. Experience 100. Lin Fan counted them and found there were 30 pills in total. It seemed that they were given monthly. Lin Fan poured out all the pills, stuffed them into his mouth and swallowed them all. It seems that taking drugs to upgrade in the future will be a good strategy, but I am not familiar with the method now, so I must find out more about it. Then Lin Fan picked up the clothes distributed by the sect, held them in his hands and touched them. Not bad. Not bad, the material was reliable and smooth. But what was wrong? Why were there slits on the left and right? Could this be a cheongsam? And you can lift it up from the back so you don't have to take off your clothes. At this moment, Lin Fan couldn't help but become evil. Then Lin Fan picked up the long sword and weighed it left and right. It was just an ordinary long sword and was useless, so he threw it aside. Ding! Discovered the secrets of the holy demons. Do you want to learn it? Then many things that he had never known before appeared in Lin Fan's mind. Not bad, not bad. Martial arts training ground. The outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment came to the training ground one after another. At the same time, these outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment all had beaming smiles on their faces, as if something joyful had happened. Hey, senior brother is really smart. He got rid of this monster. We won't be bullied anymore. The peerless handsome man standing in the crowd at this moment smiled confidently. It's just a little trick. Brother is very wise. Senior brother is a cultured person. His brain works better than anyone else. The outer sect disciples who were taking the assessment surrounded the extremely handsome man and flattered him. The extremely handsome man was enjoying this situation very much, and his smile was as bright as a sunflower. Lin Fan got up quickly in the morning. A day's plan begins in the morning, so he couldn't delay things by sleeping in. Now that I have entered the outer sect, I must make good use of the current resources. These outer disciples are all little lambs that have not been violated yet. They are all shouting and waiting for my invasion. Lin Fan wore the distinctive green robe of an outer sect disciple, tied the token around his waist, and walked outside. What he was looking for now was the place where the outer disciples practiced. But when Lin Fan arrived at the scene, he was stunned. Where have all the outer disciples gone? Why is this huge outer disciple training ground empty? Even if there are people, there are only a handful of them. This is different from what Lin Fan had imagined. Under normal circumstances, this outer sect martial arts training ground should be packed with people, all practicing desperately. Why is it like this now? Does this mean that I have to go back to the outer sect to assess the disciples? Those guys can no longer add much experience, and can even be said to be negligible. Oh heaven, oh earth, do you want me to become decadent like this? I want to practice and upgrade. Lin Fan said nothing and simply stopped one person. Senior brother, may I ask why there is no one in this martial arts training ground? Lin Fan asked in a very friendly manner. The man who was stopped by Lin Fan looked unhappy. He looked at Lin Fan carefully and asked after noticing the token on Lin Fan's waist, "Are you a new outer disciple?" Yes. Lin Fan nodded in response. There are usually not many people in this outer sect martial arts training ground. All the fellow disciples are practicing in their respective residences. Seeing that the younger brother's attitude was quite good, the senior brother Long Tao also spoke in a gentle manner. I see. Lin Fan nodded, but this was a bit troublesome. They are all practicing in the house. It seems that I need to think carefully about how to lure these guys out. But now, Lin Fan has something extremely important to do. Senior brother, what is your prestige among the inner and outer disciples of the sect? Lin Fan asked expectantly. Everyone respects me. Senior brother Long Tao said confidently with his head held high. Lin Fan looked at the other person and felt a little intimidated. So what he said must be true. Han Lu. Although senior brother Han didn't understand why this outer sect disciple asked this, he still told him. Senior brother Han, what do you think of me? Lin Fan asked. Han Lu looked at Lin Fan in confusion, with a myriad of thoughts in his mind. What on earth was this junior brother trying to do? I have to go to the elder who teaches me the secret book now, otherwise it will be too late to regret it if the time is up. This is the first time I've met you, so it's hard to define it casually. If you have anything else to say, we can talk next time. I have something to do right now, so I have to leave first. Han Lu said hurriedly, as if he didn't want to say another word to Lin Fan. Okay. Take care, senior brother. Lin Fan said with a slight smile. Han Lu nodded, then turned and left. Senior brother, please stay. Lin Fan spoke at this time. What? Han Lu turned around in confusion. But at the moment of turning around, Lin Fan moved instantly. Chapter 11 title. Fight if you don't agree. A cool breeze blew by. Blow away all the filth between heaven and earth. In the outer sect training ground, a man was lying on the ground, twitching constantly, as if he had suffered a heavy blow. Lin Fan went back happily. Although he was extremely disappointed with the outer sect training ground, this time the training was still pretty good. Stole a peach. Although I didn't gain much experience, I was in a good mood. Monkey stealing peaches adds 200 experience points. Character experience points increased by 300. Senior brother Han, I hope you can hold a grudge against me and call a group of thugs to humiliate and abuse me. I will definitely clean myself up and wait for you to come. After entering the outer sect, Lin Fan had to risk his life to upgrade. His cultivation level was lower than others, so he couldn't let go of anything he did. No matter how he came out, he had to do it with a bang. After returning to his residence, Lin Fan lay down on the bed and thought about the matter outside. You have to arouse public anger no matter what to have a chance. But since they are all practicing in the house, it is a headache to figure out how to mock them. Monkey steals peaches. What is your limit? Lin Fan looked at the roof and gradually entered into thinking mode. Time passed by minute. Lin Fan, who was thinking, suddenly turned over and stood up. Oh, how could I forget such an important thing? Monkey stealing peaches and titanium-grade demon body complement each other. If I can steal other people's peaches, then I can steal my own peaches. Lin Fan looked at his brother, who was developing quite well, then looked at his own hands, and was having a great struggle in his heart. If this experiment really succeeds, then we will be on a path of no return from now on. At this moment, Lin Fan thought of his fellow disciples who were suffering after his peaches were stolen, and suppressed the impulse in his heart. My eggs can only be needed, not stolen. At this moment, Lin Fan was still fighting fiercely. In a house far away, Han Lu's teeth were chattering and he sat there powerless. Lin Fan, I will fight you to the death. Han Lu's eyes seemed to be spewing fire. Being attacked for no reason, and at the same place, is something no man can tolerate. Han Lu's cultivation level is at the 4th level of the acquired realm. No matter how hard he practices, he cannot make the other side into an iron wall. Although Lin Fan's cultivation level is much lower than Han Lu's, this move of monkey stealing peaches is about to be upgraded by Lin Fan to the level of ignoring defense. Han Lu stood up carefully with his legs together, then walked to the door and looked outside. After making sure that there was no one there, he felt relieved. Then a white jade bottle appeared out of thin air in Han Lu's hand. Han Lu accidentally obtained this thing when he went to the Holy Demon sect to become a disciple 2 years ago. When he got the white jade bottle, Han Lu didn't know how to use it. Fortunately, this white jade bottle can be stored in the body and no one can detect it. And during this half year, the white jade bottle suddenly appeared again, and a signal came from the white jade bottle. Han Lu knew that the name of this white jade bottle was Jade Purification Bottle. At the same time, another signal was that this Jade Purification Bottle was a personal magic weapon of a person named Namo, greatly compassionate and merciful Guanyin Bodhisattva, who saves the suffering and the distressed and has great inspiration. Han Lu had specifically inquired about this name, but had never found such a person. This jade bottle will condense a drop of dew every day, which is called the immortal dew. After taking it, it has infinite uses. It can not only improve your cultivation, but also eliminate all diseases and disasters. Han Lu was able to cultivate from an ordinary person to the 4th level of acquired cultivation in just half a year, entirely relying on this. Han Lu then took out a book of martial arts called Song Ribang Quan, that he had borrowed from the elder who taught him martial arts, and then opened the first page, read the martial arts skills carefully, and memorized them in his heart. Han Lu's memory was not strong before, but after taking the fairy fat dew, not only did his memory improve greatly, but his comprehension also improved greatly. It can be said that he has reached the level of a genius in the sect. Han Lu treasured this jade bottle very much, but it was broken, which made Han Lu very regretful. This broken jade bottle is so powerful. Han Lu is looking forward to seeing what it would look like if it were intact. Han Lu didn't think much about it, and carefully swallowed a drop of fairy fat dew into his stomach. Suddenly, a warm current filled his whole body. Han Lu immediately sat cross-legged there and practiced the Tsang Ribang Quan mental method. As long as the Tsang Ribang Quan reached the small success level, he could make a breakthrough to the 5th level of the acquired realm. Remember today's grudge and repay it in full tomorrow. Lin Fan, I will remember you. Ache. Lin Fan, who was struggling fiercely in his heart, couldn't help but sneeze. Who was that guy saying bad things about me behind my back again? Lin Fan rubbed his nose and thought. At this moment, Lin Fan was still struggling, even though he had made up his mind not to steal his own peaches. But what if this really happens? How can we give up on such a good practice method? Lin Fan paced back and forth, unable to make up his mind. Why think so much? When a person dies, the birds fly up to the sky. If you don't dare to try this for the sake of invincibility and a better future, what else can you say? At this moment, Lin Fan gave it his all and acted quickly, like lightning. A monkey steals peaches. At this moment, Lin Fan knelt on the ground without hesitation. His originally rosy face turned extremely pale, and a few tears of pain shed from his strong eyes. Lin Fan lowered his head in pain, covering his crotch with his hands. Oh my God! I regret it. Lin Fan gritted his teeth and was determined to smell his own fart even if he had to kneel down. Ding! Monkey steals peaches, experience 1. Ding! Titanium level demon body experience 1. Ding! Got the hidden title. Fight if you don't agree. If you don't agree, then fight me. I can even treat myself cruelly, let alone you. Attributes. When activated, your cultivation is doubled, and the duration lasts for 1 stick of incense. At this moment, Lin Fan no longer paid attention to these things, because he was in real pain, very painful, so painful that it almost killed him. Lin Fan swore to the heavens that he would never use such a physically and mentally destructive move on himself again, and would honestly use others to upgrade himself in the future. Lin Fan stood up with difficulty, held on to the table beside him, walked to the bed, and then slowly lay down, silently covering his crotch and crying. The morning sets the tone for the day. Let me have a good rest today and work hard tomorrow. Then Lin Fan trembled and closed his eyes slightly. I cried silently in my heart, feeling that I was really a fool. How could I do such a thing? But after this experience, I can understand how much pain my fellow brothers are in. I wonder if Senior Brother Han will gather a large group of people to seek revenge on me tomorrow. This is really exciting. As for today, forget it. Senior brother Han must be lying in bed now to relieve the pain. Chapter 12, Can you give me a chance? It was pitch dark inside the talent registration hall, but Elder Lee, dressed in a black robe, seemed to be able to ignore the darkness. He found a booklet from the bookshelf that went straight to the top. This booklet records the life experiences of the founder of the sect. In the darkness, only the two green flames were dancing under the black robe. The surroundings were quiet, with only the rustling sound of Elder Lee flipping through the book. Why can this disciple practice the titanium-grade demonic body to such a high level? It's unprecedented. Elder Lee muttered to himself. The titanium-grade demonic body, recorded in the booklet, was just a body-refining method written casually by the founder of the sect, specifically for sandbags to practice. There has never been anyone who has practiced it to such a level. The next day, Lin Fan turned over, and the first thing he did was to open his crotch and take a look. Seeing that his little brother was alive and well and safe, Lin Fan felt relieved. From now on, Lin Fan promises that he will never do such a thing again. It is simply a matter of life and death. At this time, there was a knock on the door. Lin Fan was a little confused. Who was looking for him? Could it be that Han Lu is coming? But I shouldn't do that. After doing something so excessive to him yesterday, it would be a shame for me if senior brother Han didn't kick open my door. Lin Fan didn't think much about it, tidied himself up and pushed the door open. Hey, who are you? Lin Fan looked at the person in front of him, feeling a little confused. He looked unfamiliar. I live next door to you. You must be junior brother Lin who has just joined the outer sect, right? The man smiled and looked at Lin Fan as if an older brother was looking at a younger brother. Oh, it's you, senior brother. Come in, please come in. Lin Fan was immediately happy when he heard it. He had experience delivered to his door. Haha, junior brother Lin is very polite. Senior brother and I asked me yesterday to take good care of junior brother Lin. Now is the time for the outer sect to have a meal. Junior brother Lin is new to the outer sect, so I'm afraid he doesn't know where he is. Let me lead the way. Een Machin looked at Lin Fan and felt that this junior brother who had just entered the outer sect was a very nice person and very enthusiastic towards others. If there is a chance in the future, he should interact with him more often. Okay, then I'll trouble you, senior brother, Lin Fan said happily. Along the way, Lin Fan talked about this and that, and Een Machin answered his questions one by one. Senior brother Een, this cafeteria is quite big. At this moment, Lin Fan took a look and saw a sea of people, and the cultivation level was floating above everyone's head. In Lin Fan's opinion, that was all experience. Junior brother Lin, all the outer disciples of the sect eat here, so this dining area is naturally very large. Een Machin explained. Then, under the guidance of Een Machin, Lin Fan received a portion of food from the cafeteria. There are meat and vegetables, it is quite rich. But what kind of dish is this and what kind of meat is this? I have never seen them before. Moreover, the food smells so fragrant that it makes me very hungry. Lin Fan's stomach had been rumbling for a long time, and after entering the day after tomorrow, Lin Fan's appetite also increased. Without saying much, he quickly finished all the food. Sure enough, this was not ordinary food. After Lin Fan finished eating the food, his experience gained a little bit. Lin Fan raised his head, only to see Een Machin staring at him in astonishment. Brother, why are you looking at me like that? Now, whenever Lin Fan saw those strange looks, he would tremble all over, as if someone was always thinking about his pure body. Een Machin smiled and said, Nothing much. Junior brother Lin's wolfing down of food is really an eye-opener for me. Senior brother Een, can each person only receive one portion of this meal? Lin Fan asked. Yes, these have all been prepared in advance. Een Machin said with a smile. When Lin Fan heard this, he immediately became happy. Now in Lin Fan's eyes, everyone is experience, and he cannot do this without turning on the mocking mode. After receiving the confirmed news from senior brother Een, Lin Fan decisively began to mock. Lin Fan calmly brought senior brother Yin's food to himself, then looked at senior brother Een, waiting for his anger. Senior brother Een, I'm not full yet. Just watch me eat, Lin Fan said. At this moment, Lin Fan was looking forward to it in his heart. Senior brother Ian, please do it quickly. Overturn the table and beat me. Although you are a good person, it's my fault that I relied on this to level up. What Lin Fan didn't expect was that senior brother Ian was just stunned for a moment and then started laughing. Yes, it's senior brother's fault. Since I'm not full, it's okay for you to give me the meal, Ian Machin said. Lin Fan was instantly shocked when he heard this. Lin Fan suddenly realized that it was so difficult to mock people nowadays. What was wrong with people nowadays? Why were they so generous? Senior brother Ian? Aren't you hungry? Lin Fan asked. Then I took your food. Won't you be angry? Lin Fan had the urge to cry. Can't you just cooperate with me and beat me? Ian Machin smiled and shook his head. As a senior brother, I should take care of my junior brother. Since my junior brother is hungry, I should naturally make sure he is well fed. If there was no one around now, Lin Fan would definitely burst into tears. Why are all the people he meets like this after entering the outer gate? They are so saintly. Where can I go to mock them in the future? Brother, I'm not hungry anymore. I'll return the food to you. Lin Fan pushed the food in front of him back. Junior brother, if you are really hungry, I will be fine, Ian Machin said. No need. Lin Fan shook his head. At this moment, there was a sound of slamming the table in front. Give me your food. Lin Fan looked in the direction of the sound and saw a burly man standing there like a mountain, snatching the food from another person. Brother, this is mine. A pleasant sound like a silver bell was heard from the crowd. Judging from the voice, it should be a girl. It's mine now. Why are you dissatisfied? Lin Fan stood up at this moment, feeling delighted. He finally saw such a person. Lin Fan didn't believe that there would be no arrogant guys among the more than 8,000 outer disciples. Junior brother Lin, you've caused trouble by mistake. He's senior brother Yi's man, Ian Machin said with some fear. Lin Fan was immediately happy when he heard this. This person has a backer, not bad, not bad. Senior brother Ian. Who is this senior brother E? Lin Fan asked. He is one of the 10 outstanding disciples of the outer sect, along with senior brother Meng. He has a high status in the outer sect. This person is Yi Zhongtian's man. Although this kind of thing is not common in the outer sect, it does happen. Junior brother, listen to what senior brother says and don't meddle in other people's business, Ian Machin warned. Oh. Lin Fan nodded. Ian Machin also breathed a sigh of relief. He was afraid that junior brother Lin would be too fearless and stand up for justice. Although the sect strictly prohibits private fighting, there are conflicts of interest wherever there are people, and it is impossible to prohibit them. But when Ian Machin looked up, he found that junior brother Lin was actually walking towards that direction. He was so shocked that he hurriedly took a few mouthfuls of food and then followed him. What is junior brother Lin going to do? But you must not meddle in other people's business. Chapter 13. This rhythm is good. At this time, many outer disciples in the crowd were sitting in their original seats or standing there, watching the situation in front of them, like a group of people eating melons. Some of them whispered and observed a few seconds of silence for this unfortunate junior sister. They all knew the man in front of them. He was the younger brother of Yi Zhongtian, one of the 10 outstanding outer sect disciples. He was usually arrogant and domineering, and he always bullied others. I'm going to take yours today. What do you want to do? Wang Tianfeng is a big and strong man, and he doesn't know how to be gentle with women. If he were an ordinary person, seeing such a cute and beautiful junior sister, how could he have the heart to lay hands on her? He would not even have time to protect her. Lin Fan looked at the situation inside. He had seen all kinds of beauties before him, but the junior sister who was being bullied in front of him was so damn beautiful. Lin Fan had just finished his meal. The meat and vegetables could increase his experience, so they were obviously not ordinary food. This kind of food that could increase his cultivation naturally attracted the attention of others. This rough and rude man probably picked on the weak because of these reasons. You! Fan Yusin gritted her teeth and stared at the big man in front of her with cold eyes. But there was nothing she could do. Humph! The burly man Wang Tianfeng sneered disdainfully. lacking any of the courage of a senior brother. Compared with Anai Mingyang or In Machin, there is a world of difference. The outer disciples around were silent when they saw the situation. Although the junior sister was beautiful, they did not dare to provoke Wang Tianfeng in front of them. At this time, Han Lu stood in the crowd, looking at the situation in front of him with a calm expression, without a trace of fluctuation. On the path of cultivation, the strong prey on the weak, and the only way to succeed is to become stronger. Han Lu clenched his hands, then lowered his head and prepared to leave. Stop! At this moment, a burst of angry shouting spread throughout the cafeteria, and everyone looked for the person who made the sound in confusion. Han Lu, who was about to leave, stopped because the voice sounded familiar. It's him. When Han Lu came to the man, his calm expression suddenly turned cold, as if he had a deep hatred. Then Lin Fan looked at the girl again. It was the first level of acquired cultivation, but there were several question marks following it. This made Lin Fan a little confused. What did this mean? But none of this matters now because Lin Fan is about to start mocking. A large amount of experience is beckoning to me, and no matter what, it will cause this wave of commotion. Who are you? Wang Tianfeng shouted angrily when he saw someone coming out to disrupt the situation. Lin Fan glanced at Wang Tianfeng, then waved his hand, jumped onto the table, and cursed. You are such a coward, and you are still a senior brother. You always bully your fellow brothers and sisters. I am ashamed of you. You are trash, waste, and an idiot. Lin Fan spoke eloquently, using all kinds of swear words one after another, which shocked the outer disciples around him. Fan Yusin, who was originally very angry, inadvertently revealed an elusive smile at the corner of her mouth. Ha ha! Hearing Lin Fan pointing at Wang Tianfeng's nose and scolding him, the outer disciples around him also laughed. But with this smile, Lin Fan choked them in the face. What are you laughing at? You are all like trash. As men, you actually watched a weak junior sister being bullied by such a despicable and shameless villain. I am ashamed for you. What are you looking at? If you don't agree, come and hit me if you dare. Lin Fan pointed at the fellow disciples around him and cursed. In Machin, who came running at this moment, turned pale with fright when he heard what junior brother Lin said. Junior brother, why are you making things difficult for yourself? You have offended everyone now, and even I can't save you. No, I must report this to senior brother and I right away, otherwise there will be a real mess. In Machin didn't think much about it, he just started running outside. At this moment, In Machin wished he had more legs so he could run faster. At this moment, Lin Fan stood there, closed his eyes slightly, and took a breath. If you don't attack me in groups after insulting me like this, I will really look down on you. Lin Fan jumped down from the table without saying a word and then came to Wang Tianfeng. Why, hit me if you dare. I look down on you. Lin Fan looked at Wang Tianfeng's red face and continued to mock him. Today's success or failure depends on this one move. Looking for death. Wang Tianfeng's eyes were filled with anger at this moment, and he punched Lin Fan. The outer disciples around exclaimed in surprise. In their opinion, someone might die today. Fan Yusin also looked at it nervously. Ding! Titanium level demonic body experience 2000. Lin Fan's current physical strength can withstand Anai Mingyang's full strength attack at the 8th level of the acquired realm. So naturally he did not take Wang Tianfeng's punch seriously. Feeling his experience surge again, Lin Fan couldn't help but smile. While Lin Fan was waiting for the next wave of attack, he found that Wang Tianfeng was looking at him vigilantly. At this moment, Lin Fan suddenly reacted. Wang Tianfeng punched him with all his strength, but he was still standing there as if nothing had happened. Anyone who was not a fool could see the problem. At this moment, Lin Fan, who is an actor with great acting skills, fully displayed his powerful acting skills. Lin Fan's face suddenly turned red, and blood spurted out of his mouth. In order to increase the visual effect, Lin Fan deliberately sprayed a few more times. Now blood is worthless. Experience is the most valuable. Haha. Kid. Let's see if you dare to be so arrogant again. Wang Tianfeng laughed when he saw his ungrateful junior brother spitting blood. He was very satisfied with the punch he just made. This is the feeling I want now. Han Lu, who had not left, couldn't help but smile when he saw the situation in front of him, and the anger in his heart was reduced a lot. Lin Fan staggered, blood smearing the corner of his mouth. He raised his finger and said, "I look down on you." Wang Tianfeng was furious when he saw that the boy in front of him dared to be so presumptuous. He punched Lin Fan with both fists flying. Ding! Titanium level demonic body experience 2000. Ding! Titanium level demonic body experience 2000. At this moment, in order to make Wang Tianfeng feel more comfortable beating him, Lin Fan lay on the ground and let Wang Tianfeng beat him. Lin Fan lay on the ground and sighed slightly. It was so difficult. Today was the most enjoyable day since he came to the outer gate. Just as Lin Fan was fantasizing about this, Wang Tianfeng stopped. "Humph! I'll teach you a lesson today. Let's see if you dare to be rude to me next time." Wang Tianfeng snorted coldly, then turned around and prepared to leave. "Stop, you trash!" Lin Fan, who was half dead in the eyes of everyone at this moment, stood up again. He still looked very weak, but he was relentless and continued to mock Wang Tianfeng madly. "You!" Wang Tianfeng was stunned, feeling a little unbelievable that this guy could actually stand up. "Humph, not to mention you, even everyone here is trash in my eyes. What do you mean by that look? I'm talking about you. If you don't accept it, come and beat me up together. I'm your grandpa, and I'm not afraid of you." Lin Fan was about to cry at this moment. Is this upgrade easy? Not to mention the taunts, you also have to find every possible way to taunt him. If he doesn't take the bait, all your efforts will be in vain. My fellow brothers, we are all strong and handsome men, but now this man says we are worthless. A gentleman can be killed but not humiliated. Today we must make him understand what he can and cannot say. At this moment, these words of encouragement were heard from the crowd. Lin Fan took a look and was immediately delighted. It turned out that the hero who added fuel to the fire was actually senior brother Han Luhan. "Senior brother Han, I will definitely repay you handsomely for your kindness today in the future." Sure enough, after Han Lu said this, some of the outer disciples around him could no longer bear it. Some of them kept their heads down and said nothing, probably because they felt guilty before, while some of them had a bad temper and started to riot after being provoked by these words. At this moment, Lin Fan was so happy that he lay obediently on the ground. Today's rhythm was pretty good. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 1000. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 5000. Chapter 14. Fancy Shouting, Unleashing Your Potential. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the Titanium Grade Demon Body. Hearing this prompt, Lin Fan smiled happily. Hard work pays off. As long as you work hard, you will definitely be rewarded. Hey brothers, stop it quickly, he seems to be dying. Just when Lin Fan was immersed in joy, an outer disciple beside him exclaimed, "We were impulsive. We are all from the same sect. How could we do such a thing? Send him to get treated quickly. Don't let anything really happen to him." Han Lu had been standing not far away, watching everything in front of him with a smile on his face. If this guy really died, he deserved it. At this moment, Lin Fan hurriedly shouted and mocked, "You bunch of scum! You want to kill me with all your might? You're simply flattering yourself. I say I look down on you, and I look down on you." Han Lu, who was originally smiling, suddenly changed his expression. He looked a little surprised and a little unbelievable. "This is all fine, it's simply impossible." "Damn it, you guy, you're still being stubborn." The outer disciples who had fought with him were so angry that they started fighting again when they saw that the man still didn't repent and was mocking them wantonly. Ding! Titanium Level Demonic Body Experience 2000. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 3000. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 1000. Lin Fan was enjoying the pleasure of his rapidly increasing experience. The harder these experienced babies worked, the happier Lin Fan was. However, what made Lin Fan a little regretful was that many outer disciples were standing there with their heads down and silent, and did not come forward to give him experience. This was also a big regret in Lin Fan's heart. Damn guy! Admit your mistake to us immediately, Wang Tianfeng shouted angrily. It's just a daydream to ask me to bow down to a bunch of you who bully women. Lin Fan shouted happily. We didn't bully anyone. Why are you insulting us? The outer disciples who were teaching Lin Fan a lesson said angrily. They were also shot at the moment. They were just standing aside watching the fun, but they were caught and insulted. What's wrong with me scolding you? I scolded you. Hit me now. Lin Fan shouted with a look of asking for a beating. Brothers, why are you wasting time talking to him? Today we will let him know the consequences of talking nonsense. Wang Tianfeng said angrily. Since following senior brother Yi, no one has dared to speak to him like this, and this guy is the first one. In order to make them feel a sense of accomplishment, Lin Fan also shouted in various ways, and his shouts were so earth-shaking. Whenever these experienced babies were about to stop, Lin Fan would mock them again. Bang bang! At this moment, the cafeteria was in chaos, and many outer disciples gathered around, not knowing why. They watched the whole thing from beginning to end, and they were filled with admiration for their fellow disciple who was beaten up, screamed in pain, and refused to admit defeat. How could such a temper not lead to disadvantage? Since he couldn't defeat so many people, couldn't he just admit defeat? When my cultivation level improves in the future, I can just take revenge on them one by one. This lacks the spirit of enduring humiliation and bearing heavy burdens. Are you convinced? Wang Tianfeng was a little tired at this moment. With the cultivation level of the 6th level of acquired realm and strong internal energy, he shouldn't be so tired. At first, Wang Tianfeng didn't dare to beat Lin Fan with all his strength, but later he found that this guy was just shouting but not dead, which made Wang Tianfeng anxious. Therefore, Wang Tianfeng used all his strength later. Fuck you, I, Lin Fan, will not submit to you even if you beat me to death. Lin Fan retorted. You! Wang Tianfeng pointed at Lin Fan, panting, not knowing what to say. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 800. Ding! Titanium Grade Demon Body Experience 600. At this moment, Lin Fan was shocked. What was going on? Why was the experience gained so little? Then Lin Fan took a quick glance and suddenly found that the faces of these outer disciples who beat him were all red, as if they were very tired. I'll go. Lin Fan was helpless at this moment. Could it be that these guys were all quick shooters? We've only just started, and it's already too much. No, I have to shout louder to stimulate their potential strength. If the experience increases so slowly, it will take a long time to upgrade. Ouch! It hurts so much. I can't hold it anymore. You bunch of scum. I will not bow to you. You scum who bully women. Fan Yusen looked at the person who was surrounded by the crowd and stood up for her. A hint of murderous intent flashed in her gentle eyes. Just when she was about to speak, Fan Yusen glanced outside. Stop! And Ai Mingyang was stunned when he heard Junior Brother Yin's report, and then he hurried over. Junior Brother Lin is really a newborn calf that is not afraid of tigers. How come he dares to mess with anyone? Although the sect is peaceful, the fighting is extremely fierce. If you are not careful, you will be doomed. And Ai Mingyang was at the 8th level of the acquired realm. One hand seemed to contain infinite power as he pushed away all the people surrounding Lin Fan. Wang Tianfeng, what are you doing? And Ai Mingyang asked Wang Tianfeng angrily. Yin Machin hurriedly stepped forward to help up Junior Brother Lin, who had fallen to the ground, and then checked him nervously, saying, Junior Brother Lin, you must hold on. At this moment, Lin Fan was stunned. What the hell is going on? They were fighting so well, why did everything break up? Junior Brother Lin, it's okay. Senior Brother and I is here. Seeing Junior Brother Lin's silly look, Yin Machin thought that Junior Brother Lin was scared silly by this group of people, and then comforted him in a soft voice. Lin Fan looked at Yin Machin dully. If looks could kill, Yin Machin would have died 1,000 times by now. After saying so many sarcastic words, only half of them have been effective so far. Yin Machin saw the pool of blood where Junior Brother Lin lay, and immediately shouted at the surrounding outer disciples. As fellow disciples, How could you be so cruel? Do you still have the friendship of fellow disciples? At this moment, the group of senior brothers who beat Lin Fan looked at the blood on the ground, reacted, and then lowered their heads with guilt. Senior brother and I think you should take good care of this junior brother in this matter and don't say anything careless, Wang Tianfeng said to Ni Mingyang. Although his cultivation level was not as high as Ni Mingyang's, Wang Tianfeng was not afraid of him at all. He didn't take seriously a waste who had practiced for more than 10 years but was still at the 8th level of the acquired realm. Humph, Wang Tianfeng, I will report this matter truthfully to senior brother Meng. I want to see if the people taught by senior brother E are all the ones who snatch food from their fellow disciples in the cafeteria. Ni Mingyang said. Seeing the current situation, Lin Fan sighed in his heart. It was his own fault today. He chose the wrong address. He must learn from his lesson next time and never choose a place as carelessly as he did today. Otherwise all the previous arguments would be in vain. Brother, I feel a little uncomfortable. I want to go back and rest. Lin Fan felt heartbroken and uncomfortable at the moment. Junior brother, hold on. I will help you back now, Inmochin said hurriedly. Ni Mingyang looked at Wang Tianfeng and knew that this matter could not be resolved. He snorted coldly and helped junior brother Lin leave. Fan Yusen stood in the crowd and then left quietly. Chapter 15 I won't tell you about the pie in the sky. Indoor. Lin Fan lay powerlessly on the bed, looking at the healing pills left by senior brother Ni Mingyang, and felt unwell. It's really unreliable to upgrade within the sect. It seems that I should consider going out for some fun. However, the sect has a rule that outer disciples are not allowed to go down the mountain without permission, which is really a headache. Lin Fan sighed, then poured the pills left by senior brother Ni into his hands. Ding! Found the healing elixir rejuvenation pill. After taking it, experience 50. Rejuvenation pill. A common healing pill from the Holy Demon sect, made from blue vanilla. Lin Fan sighed again, then stuffed the pill into his mouth and finished it. Then Lin Fan opened the data page. Name, Lin Fan. Level 11. Acquired level 2. Experience points, 7,000/50,000. Skill, Titanium grade demonic body 19th level, 6,000/2000000. Monkey steals peaches, 10th level, 1400/10,000. Title, Fight Me If You Don't Obey. Cultivation power doubles. Lasts for 1 stick of incense. Single-use title. Lin Fan felt a headache when he looked at the experience of Titanium-level demonic body. 2 million experience points, and now relying on the beatings of these outer disciples, it is unknown when it will take to get them. Lin Fan sighed again, then closed his eyes, had a good rest, and prepared to take action at night. I don't know how long it took. Lin Fan only felt a hint of fragrance at the tip of his nose, and this fragrance made Lin Fan very confused. I am a grown man who never wears perfume. Where does the fragrance in the room come from? Weird. Lin Fan opened his eyes and saw no one in the room, not even a ghost. Hey, where does this fragrance come from? Could it be that a girl sneaked into my brother's room, took off his pants, touched his penis while he was sleeping, and turned the world upside down? Thinking about this, Lin Fan felt a little scared. Then he looked at his crotch. Fortunately, it was safe and sound and had not been invaded. Otherwise, he really didn't know who to cry to. Lin Fan exclaimed in surprise again and picked up a jade bottle beside the bed. What was this? This jade bottle is very ordinary, without any pattern, and it is impossible to tell what treasure it is. Lin Fan picked it up and shook it. There was a rumbling sound inside, as if there was something inside. Lin Fan remembered that there was no such thing beside the bed before he went to bed. So who put it there? Lin Fan stood up and opened the door. It was pitch black outside and there was no one in sight. Confused, Lin Fan went back into the room and sat on the edge of the bed to think for a while. Unable to figure out the reason, he poured out the contents of the jade bottle. A golden pill with a fragrant smell. 1 sip of it will make you feel refreshed. Ding! Congratulations on discovering the holy level elixir, Supreme Pill. After taking it, you will gain 4 million experience points. Supreme Pill. It is made from dozens of materials, including 10,000-year-old ice crystals from the 9 Netherworld and the essence of 10,000-year-old monster beasts. Special effect. Achieve unparalleled talent and understanding. At this moment, Lin Fan, who was still in a daze, suddenly opened his eyes wide. What the hell? What kind of elixir is this? How can it be so powerful? For million experience points, oh my god. For million experience points. At this moment, Lin Fan felt like he was going crazy. This was absolutely a pie in the sky. Lin Fan, who was in urgent need of becoming stronger, threw the pill into his mouth without saying a word and started to drink it vigorously. Hey, it's a bit hard and can't be chewed. I don't believe this, so I think it's better to swallow it directly. Ding! Taking the Saint-level elixir Supreme Pill will give you 4 million experience points. At this moment, Lin Fan only felt an irresistible pressure in his body, as if it was about to explode out. Ding! Open the experience upgrade function column. The body, which was originally bloated, suddenly returned to normal. Lin Fan was stunned and a little dumbfounded. Then he opened the data column and looked at it carefully. Level 11. Acquired level 2. Experience points, 7,000/50,000. Stored experience, 4 million. Can be used to upgrade character level and cultivation technique level. Skill. Titanium grade demonic body 19th level. 6,000/2000000. Monkey steals peaches. 10th level. 1400/10,000. Title. Fight me if you don't obey. Cultivation power doubles. Lasts for 1 stick of incense. Single-use title. Lin Fan looked at the extra 4 million experience points and smiled brighter than anyone else. Like a sunflower. Now his cultivation level is still at the 2nd level of acquired cultivation. This is a bit unbearable. As a man with such a strong sense of arrogance, how can he tolerate such a low level of cultivation? No, you have to upgrade. Ding! Congratulations, the character has reached level 12, the 3rd stage of acquired cultivation. Ding! Congratulations, the character has reached level 13, the 4th stage of acquired cultivation. Ding! Congratulations, the character has reached level 14, the 5th level of acquired rank. Lin Fan clicked his buttons frantically all the way, as if he would kill any god he met, and any Buddha he met. He was unstoppable, and no one could stop Lin Fan's footsteps. Ding! Insufficient experience. Unable to upgrade. Lin Fan, who was very happy with the order, was stunned for a moment. A little bit unbelievable. He had only reached the 9th level of the acquired realm, but he couldn't upgrade anymore. How could he be so deceiving? When Lin Fan took a closer look, he discovered that it would take 10 million experience points to break through from the 9th level of the acquired realm to the innate realm. At this moment, Lin Fan was dumbfounded. How could this be so terrifying? Although Lin Fan didn't look at it much, it seemed that it only took a few 100,000 experience points to advance from the 8th level to the 9th level. Why did it take 10 million experience points to reach this level? If this upgrade system has customer service, Lin Fan will definitely report it. Report it severely. This is a complete scam. Looking at the remaining 2 million experience points, Lin Fan didn't know what to say. Forget it, the rest of the time is to upgrade the skills. In the blink of an eye, he will become a master of the 9th level of the acquired realm. If others knew about this, they would definitely vomit blood and die. Ding! Congratulations on upgrading the titanium grade demon body. Ding! Congratulations on reaching level 20 for the titanium demon body and advancing your technique to the immortal demon body. Ding! Immortal demon body level 1, 0/3000000. When Lin Fan saw the titanium grade demonic body advance to the immortal demonic body, his heart almost jumped out. Sure enough, the skills can be advanced automatically, and it seems that it can be advanced infinitely. If you have enough experience, you will be a mobile tank in the future. Lin Fan then directly added the remaining experience to Monkey Stealing Peaches. Although Monkey Stealing Peaches is a very rubbish martial arts book. Lin Fan is a nostalgic person. Monkey Stealing Peaches has made great contributions to him. As a person with conscience, how can he abandon it? In the future, he must carry forward Monkey Stealing Peaches and make it awe-inspiring to the world. Ding! Congratulations on the upgrade of Monkey Stealing Peaches. Ding! Congratulations on the upgrade of Monkey Stealing Peaches. At this moment, Lin Fan checked his own data column again with great satisfaction. Level 18. Ninth level of acquired cultivation. Experience value 0/100000000. Stored experience 400. Can be used to upgrade character level and technique level. Skill Immortal Demon Body Level 1 0/3000000. Monkey Steals Peaches, 12th floor, 1400/30,000. Title: Fight Me If You Don't Obey. Cultivation Power Doubles. Lasts for 1 stick of incense. Single-use title. Lin Fan smiled contentedly and tried hard to calm his excited heart. Lin Fan swore to heaven that he would never tell anyone about this pie-in-the-sky thing. Just as Lin Fan was about to lie down and have a little fantasy, he found a note beside the bed. Lin Fan picked up the note, took a look at it, and nodded frequently. The handwriting is beautiful, but why does it give off a sense of arrogance? No, I must be overthinking it. But when Lin Fan finished reading the contents of the note, his expression changed. He then threw the note aside and muttered bitterly, "Oh my God! I've already finished the kowtow. What's there to talk about?" At this moment, in the dark night sky, a pair of bright eyes shines as brightly as the stars in the sky. Oh, idiot! This isn't food. Chapter 16. Starting a secondary career. The next day, Lin Fan strolled around the area where the outer disciples of the Holy Demon Sect were active. Today was the day for the outer disciples assessment, which was also a major event for the Holy Demon Sect. Many outer disciples also rushed to the scene to watch, wanting to see who would become their younger brothers and sisters. But for Lin Fan, these things have nothing to do with him. Most of his outer disciples have gone to watch the assessment, so who is left to play with him? Oh, Lin Fan sighed. How boring. Not knowing where he was going, Lin Fan only felt a strong smell of coal at the tip of his nose. Lin Fan heard the sound of iron hammering, and then looked over and saw small houses standing side by side. Then, on the roofs of the small houses, chimneys emerged, emitting thick black smoke. Lin Fan frowned. These guys were definitely a group of people who were destroying the environment. Although Lin Fan thought so, he walked forward happily. This was the place where outer disciples received their weapons. Every outer disciple has a chance to receive a new piece of equipment every month. The blacksmiths among them are all talents specially trained by the sect. In addition to high-end military forces, a sect must also have talents in various aspects, and this blacksmith is one of them. Of course, the weapons used by outer disciples are all of relatively low grade, but even these relatively low-grade weapons are top-notch weapons in the affiliated dynasties. Cutting iron like mud and breaking hair with a blow are all possible things. It has been a while since I came to the sect, but I still don't have a proper weapon. Now that I am here, I naturally have to get one. Lin Fan stood there and couldn't help but fantasize. From now on, if you go out and do evil, you are acting like a hero. With a long sword on his back, long flowing hair, and neat and tidy green clothes, he can kill the villain with his own hands and act as a hero to save the beauty. That is a sure thing. The sound of the hammer hitting the target reached Lin Fan's ears. Lin Fan woke up from his fantasy at this moment, then raised his thigh and hurried inside. When he got inside, Lin Fan found a big blacksmith inside. He was holding a hammer in one hand and an iron plate in the other, hammering loudly. Lin Fan was frightened by Peng Pan's muscles. So powerful, it's really powerful. It's a complete humanoid monster. The blacksmith noticed someone coming in, then glanced at the token on Lin Fan's waist and said, "Take whatever weapon you want. See for yourself." The blacksmith's voice was a little hoarse, but also very natural, as if he was used to it. Lin Fan looked at the blacksmith and smiled slightly. You don't have the weapon I want, and you don't know how to make it. The blacksmith, who had been acting normally, heard Lin Fan's words, and his rough arms trembled slightly. Then he stopped hammering. Are you here to cause trouble? The blacksmith looked at Lin Fan unhappily and asked. No, I'm just telling the truth. Lin Fan said. Humph. I've never seen an outer disciple who talks so nonsense as you. Okay, come here. If you can forge a weapon I've never seen before, I'll give you something I treasure. The blacksmith said unhappily. He had never seen an outer disciple who boasted like this before. In the decades of his time in the Holy Demon sect, he had forged countless weapons and was familiar with all the weapons of hundreds of schools. Now someone said that he couldn't forge weapons, which made the blacksmith very unhappy. Okay. Lin Fan smiled and glanced at the blacksmith. Could he tell the other party that his previous hobby was blacksmithing? The blacksmith put down the hammer and then made way. The meaning was obvious. If you can do it, come on. Lin Fan also stepped forward and held the heavy hammer weighing over 100 kilograms in his hand. Haha, you can't even hold a hammer, and you say you can forge weapons? It's simply ridiculous. An expert can tell the quality of a blacksmith with just one move. When Lin Fan held the hammer, the blacksmith laughed at him. Lin Fan rolled his eyes at him. This is my exclusive secret recipe, understand? Humph, you're acting like a complete novice. Blacksmithing is a skill that cannot be mastered without more than 10 years of practice. You can't even forge a decent weapon, you should. In Lin Fan's opinion, the blacksmith seemed to be a chatterbox. At this moment, he was explaining incessantly, as if he wanted to show off his knowledge in front of Lin Fan. Lin Fan generally disdains such people. Such guys who casually show off their knowledge and are not humble at all are really hateful. Ding. Start the secondary profession, craftsman. Ding. Craftsman level 1, 0/10. The craftsman. A master of all things in the world. Everything he sees can be forged into a different weapon in his hands. At this moment, Lin Fan was stunned. What was going on? What's the situation with this secondary profession? I just picked up the hammer, listened to a few words from the blacksmith who loved to show off, and then started my secondary profession. At this moment, Lin Fan didn't want to say anything more. He felt like he had let his father down. Go. Pick a weapon and leave here quickly. Seeing that Lin Fan was a complete novice, the blacksmith didn't want to say anything more and urged Lin Fan to leave. I can forge iron now. Seeing that he had become a craftsman, Lin Fan immediately retorted in dissatisfaction. Leave quickly and don't disturb me. The blacksmith picked up the hammer again and started hammering, not wanting to pay any attention to Lin Fan. Humph. Look at me making a peerless magic weapon, Lin Fan said with a curled lip. Lin Fan glanced at the blacksmith and said, Haha. After leaving here, Lin Fan left without stopping and returned to his house. Lin Fan was very curious about this new secondary profession. What was this craftsman like? Could it be that as long as someone explains it to me, I can learn to do the deputy job? Lin Fan opened the panel and clicked on the craftsman subprofession. And suddenly a large furnace appeared in his mind. This thing. Lin Fan touched his chin, feeling that he needed to study it carefully. Lin Fan looked left and right, but couldn't find any good material. At this time, Lin Fan found some discarded bricks in the corner of the courtyard wall. He hurried forward, picked up the bricks, and threw them into the stove. Ding! Congratulations on forging a pile of waste mud. Experience 1. At this moment, Lin Fan was holding a pile of sticky black waste mud in his hand, and he immediately laughed. This can be upgraded. Then Lin Fan took a brick impatiently. Ding! Congratulations on forging a broken brick. Experience 1. Ding! Congratulations on forging a pile of waste mud. Experience 1. Ding! Congratulations on your upgrade to Craftsman Level 2, 0/50. Ding! Congratulations on forging a slightly worn brick. Experience 1. Chapter 17A Weakling with only 10 experience points. At this moment, Lin Fan was like a possessed man, constantly throwing bricks into the furnace. one after another. Apart from adding experience, the forged items are either broken or a pile of mud. Lin Fan's secondary professional craftsman level has reached level 4, but the products he forges are still rubbish. He has begun to doubt his life. Could it be that even after starting a secondary profession, I can still only forge a bunch of scrap metal? It's not even scrap metal. Lin Fan was panting as he looked at the pile of garbage in front of him, and he was about to collapse. I don't accept it. Lin Fan roared and turned on the crazy mode, recycling the pile of waste in front of him and throwing it into the fire. Ding! Material damage disappears. Ding! Material damage disappears. How could this happen? Lin Fan looked helplessly at the empty courtyard in front of him. The 3 walls that originally surrounded it were now gone, and he could see the end at a glance. Apart from the craftsman level being raised to level 4, nothing useful was forged. At this moment, Lin Fan began to doubt his life and his own forging skills. In modern times, no matter what, I am also a fan of blacksmithing talent. How come I can't even get a piece of trash out of this place? After a whole day of hard work, the sky darkened and the brothers who had watched the outer sect assessment returned. Junior brother Lin, where's the wall of your courtyard? In Machin returned to his residence and asked in confusion when he saw Lin Fan's bare house. Oh, I don't know. It was gone the moment I opened my eyes. How was the outer sect assessment today, senior brother? Lin Fan didn't want to say too much, because it would hurt if he said too much. Very good. There are many good seedlings today. It is a blessing for the sect. In Machin seemed a little excited when he said this, but seeing that junior brother Lin's face looked a little gloomy at the moment, In Machin was a little worried. Junior brother Lin, are you okay? Why do you look so grim? Is it possible that your injury from last time hasn't healed yet? It's hateful that senior brother E is so protective of his own shortcomings and didn't even give me a reply. I'll get an explanation for you tomorrow, In Machin said. No, senior brother. I'm tired and will go back first, Lin Fan said with his head shrugged. Junior brother. In Machin looked at junior brother Lin with some concern. His back looked a little depressed. Is he really okay? Lin Fan lay on the bed and sighed slightly. Today was really a mess. All my efforts were in vain. I wish you could come up with something useful to make me happy. But all day long, there was nothing but garbage or disappearance, and there was no decent thing at all. What the hell? Lin Fan covered himself with the quilt, said nothing, and went to sleep. At this moment, the room became quiet, and the light of the oil lamp on the wooden table flickered slowly, as if responding to Lin Fan. The sky grew even darker, and apart from the moon and stars illuminating the earth, everything outside was quiet and peaceful. Ah, I don't accept it. Lin Fan suddenly sat up and lifted the quilt. No sleepiness at all. Lin Fan didn't say much, got up and left the house, gradually disappearing into the darkness. In one of the outer disciples' residences, the lights were on and the people inside were obviously not asleep yet. At this moment, in the room, Wang Tianfeng smiled and took out a book of martial arts, which he had just received from senior brother Yi Zhongyu today. Burning Palm. The martial arts in the world are divided into 4 levels: Heaven, Earth, Black, and Yellow. This book, Burning Palm, is a low-grade Shen-level martial arts technique, which is a rare skill for Wang Tianfeng. Outer disciples can only practice yellow-level techniques, while Shen-level techniques can only be practiced by inner disciples. Wang Tianfeng excitedly opened the martial arts manual and memorized the key techniques in it. As long as he could master the Burning Palm, Anai Mingyang would not be his opponent. Wang Tianfeng was filled with rage when he thought of Anai Mingyang. This hateful guy actually went to senior brother E to tell tales. Fortunately, senior brother E was very observant and ignored this guy. Of course, Wang Tianfeng also knew in his heart that senior brother E was disdainful of paying attention to this guy because he was not in his eyes. Wang Tianfeng memorized several sections of the mental skills in his mind, then carefully put the skills into his arms and kept them close to his body. He sat cross-legged and practiced the mental skills. Knock, knock. At this moment, Wang Tianfeng frowned. Who was knocking on the door so late? There was a constant knock on the door. Here it comes, here it comes. Why aren't you sleeping so late at night? Wang Tianfeng cursed. But when Wang Tianfeng opened the door, he was stunned to find that there was no one outside. Then he shook his head and cursed a few words, closed the door, and hurriedly sat cross-legged on the bed. At this moment, the knock on the door sounded again. Who is it? At this moment, Wang Tianfeng did not get out of bed, but shouted impatiently. When Wang Tianfeng saw the man outside still knocking on the door, his face turned pale with anger. He immediately got out of bed and opened the door. What made Wang Tianfeng even more devastated was that there was still no one outside the door. Who are you? Come out here. You're playing tricks in the middle of the night. I'll chop you to death. Wang Tianfeng cursed. Lin Fan, who was hiding in the dark, looked at the furious Wang Tianfeng and suddenly smiled. His previous depressed mood disappeared. And when Wang Tianfeng closed the door again, Lin Fan stepped forward quietly and prepared for another attack. But when Lin Fan just reached the door, Wang Tianfeng suddenly opened it. Lin Fan was startled, obviously frightened. This Wang Tianfeng actually knows how to use tricks. Okay, it's you, kid. It seems that yesterday's lesson was not enough. Today I will let you know what the consequences will be. When Wang Tianfeng saw that it was Lin Fan, he punched him without saying a word. Boy, I'll see who can save you tonight. Wang Tianfeng was angry at this moment. This guy provoked him again and again, which was simply testing his patience. A punch containing all of Wang Tianfeng's anger hit Lin Fan. In Wang Tianfeng's opinion, this time no one would be injured. Ding! Congratulations on reaching experience 10 for the immortal demon body. Lin Fan was a little surprised. Wang Tianfeng was a little bit unbelievable. You! Wang Tianfeng looked at Lin Fan in disbelief. How could this guy be okay? But Lin Fan didn't expect that this guy only gave him 10 experience points. Good boy. Grandpa didn't use much force just now. Now I'll make you feel comfortable. Wang Tianfeng obviously didn't believe that the other party would be fine after this punch. Then he roared angrily, ready to use all his strength to let this guy know how terrible the consequences would be if he provoked him. But at this moment, Wang Tianfeng's angry expression suddenly changed, becoming a little ecstatic and a little sour. I only go there at 10 o'clock, it's boring. Lin Fan rolled his eyes, then turned and left in disgust. Ding! Congratulations to Monkey Stealing Peaches for reaching 100 experience points.